Welcome into TFW Live, the best kept secret in fantasy football, where we keep that week one feeling going all year long. This is episode 323, where we will be watching the Dallas Cowboys face off against the New York Football Giants in this Fantasy Football Watch Party with our guy Zareh Kantzabedian. At least we're going to be watching the first half with you this time. I'm Austin Sear, and joined by one of my best friends in the whole wide world, Big Travie, as well as our producer extraordinaire, Donnie Tubbs, a.k.a. Don Flicked. Of course, a big welcome to you, Whisper Nation, Val's the GOAT, Jersey J, Calvin Brown, Que Paso. Great to have you all with us. And a lot of gratitude going out to our members on YouTube who support the show through a monthly subscription. Gus Ramos, Pizza Belly, Don Caples, Bailey Ziegler, Kevin Dobby, Nick, Brett Sabo, John Credit, Eric Lorenzen, Donnie Tubbs, Jersey J, and Hanimal. If you would like to grow our growing list of YouTube members, click join next to the video. Shout out as well to our patrons who have supported the show throughout. We will be continuing our giveaways every single month, so make sure you go sign up at patreon.com/thefantasywhispers. We just gave away an awesome Joe Burrow rookie card graded 10, so get signed up today for next month's giveaway. We're going to be doing all kinds of fun stuff: cards, jerseys, novelty items, antiques, really fun stuff, all fantasy football culture related. And if you love fantasy football and would enjoy being a part of a community where that you know you belong, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We're trying to get just one more subscriber on this stream. Just one more, could be you. And if you are new, please let us know and where you're streaming in from. Would love to shout you out live on the show. Wanted to tell you about our friends at Underdog Fantasy. Best ball drafting isn't the only way to have fun and win money through Underdog. With player prop bets, pick'em, and rival bet slips, you can cash in on all the NFL action on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Just go to Underdog Fantasy or download the app from the App Store and use the promo code TFW for up to $100 in match deposited money. One more time, that's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code TFW for up to $100 in matched money.
Straight cash, homie.
There we go. What's up, Ronald? What's up, Albert? What's up, Classic Mike? Love having everybody.
Oh,
in
yeah.
here.
Let's go, man.
Boys, Donnie, Travie. I got through the intro. It's a mouthful, but we did it. We're here. How about you?
10 out of 10.
We're here now. What about how are you doing with your fantasy lineups? How good are you feeling on that? Is that a 10 out of 10 for you too, Donnie?
In all of them except for my $50 league, my only money league, I got crushed by my brother who doesn't even set up his lineup. So 0 out of 10 right there.
Nice.
But the rest, I'm feeling good.
What about you, Travis?
I have a shot, I think, to be 6 of 8. I'm about to go 0-3 in Scott Fishbowl, which is brutal. But I think I can pull out 6 of 8 this week. So that's going to be pretty good. I'm feeling about that. Need Saquon. Need CeeDee Lamb tonight, but I'm feeling good about it.
All right. What do you need in this game? Anything you need, Donnie? Anything you're paying particular attention to?
No, out of my 8 leagues, I solidified 6 wins and 2 losses already. Nothing I can do. But
nice.
I'm just hoping for a good game. I want a lot of, people are shooting the under. I think it's 38.5 over under right now. It's suspected to be a low game, but I want to see a shootout. I want a very exciting, fun game where everyone gets points and interdivision, things go wild. I want people to be pissed off tonight. I lost my fantasy because of the tight end Hudson, and for some reason I was the guy on like 20 points.
Oh, you want somebody like how I was just going off right before we got on here in the listener league? Yeah, man. Smitty Satou. If you're tuning in right now, I got to ask you a question. What the heck?
How did he know?
It's a what the heck flex.
Yeah, it's a what the heck flex. Seriously, comes in, plays Mac Hollins, rostered in 3% of leagues. I didn't say
future Hall of Famer. Future Hall of Famer Mac Hollins. Yeah,
he was started in 2% of leagues. He had 8 catches for 158 yards and a touchdown. That's over 31 points. Fuck off. That was horrible. I hated that. Jesus.
Yeah, and Smitty's about to go 3-0 now with his Mac.
Send me to 0-3.
Ooh,
love it.
Down the ranks.
That one's there. I still feel really good about the team, though, and how deep this is. The tide will turn. We keep playing. And like we say, Whisper Nation, you can't win your draft you can't lose your draft. What do they say? Your draft doesn't even matter. That doesn't
count. Yeah, you can't lose your league by your draft, but you can't wait. No, you can't win it. Who knows? Yeah, your draft doesn't matter.
The game doesn't. It's a part of the game, but you got a lot more ahead. You got to keep it going. You got to keep that waiver wire action. You got to get those trades going, and we're going to be going over all of that all year long with the Whisper Nation because we are in it. We are playing in our leagues of record. We are playing in our Whisper Nation league. You know, it's one of the things. I'll just go ahead and take a second to hear and say I really love what we do on this show because we are lovers of fantasy football. We end up talking to so many incredible guests, analysts, specialists, professionals in this field. And, you end up talking to some like, oh, how many leagues you play? And they're like, none. I don't play in any leagues anymore. I'm just a part of the algorithm now. And I get it. But we ride the highs with you. We ride the lows. We talk ourselves off ledges all the time. And for me, I just need CeeDee Lamb to not score 30 points in our league of record. And that'll be a really big W. So here we go. Jersey J's got a trade question. Send them out our way. We'll be getting to those as well as getting going with our bet slip. Travis, is that the time in the program where we get to our bet slip?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's talk a little bit about the bet slip. I don't think Z was privy to some of the stuff we're doing here, so we'll save some of the bigger fantasy stuff for Z. But again, as Austin said, the promo code's TFW. So if you're new to Underdog Fantasy, you think it's just best ball. It is not. You can do these pick'em slips. We've been doing them with every watch party. So hit that promo code TFW, get an extra $100 or up to $100. You can put 20 in, they'll match 20 right out of there. So go ahead and do that. But as you know, we build this in a tiered out system. We take 5 over-unders. We look at them. We like them, pick them either over or under. And we then tier it out. And based on the likelihood, these are the 5 that we like tonight. Number 1, we like Saquon's over on the receptions, boys, over 3.5 here. Look, he's the focal point of his offense, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. We keep asking about guys like Richie James, Sills, who we're talking about, Kenny Golladay clearing out his locker. But the one constant seems to be Saquon Barkley. I like him to get involved within the receiving game today, and I think that we all agree on this as well. Austin, we also went with the 5.5 over receptions. On CeeDee Lamb. Again, we're looking for the playmakers tonight for both teams. And CeeDee Lamb is ingrained in the target share as a playmaker. Let's see. Donnie, we also did the 22.5 receiving yards on the higher. So we like that as well. Again, back to the playmaker argument here. Dallas with the backup quarterback. They kind of, really utilized Tony Pollard last week. I think, what was it? 7 targets, 6 receptions, something like that.
7 targets, 4 catches, 55 yards.
Yeah. 55 yards. So we like him to be involved with them. They have, especially Dalton Schultz out. So that's something else that could really play into Tony Pollard's favor here tonight to boost him. And then obviously as we get to 4 and 5, it gets a little bit tougher to get. We think that Daniel Jones, though, that the line on his passing yards low. And Austin, this was kind of your baby. You liked this one.
I love this one. I love it. I know he hasn't broken 200 passing yards yet this season, but I'm saying the capabilities are there. The pass catchers aren't necessarily good, but they're present. They're on the field. And I think that might be just enough between these two teams where neither one of them is that good to pull it together to get 206 yards. I liked Jacoby Brissett last week on the over on his passing yards. He was really low too. I think that enough continuity has happened for the Giants. I'm feeling really confident about Daniel Jones.
I think it's an opportunistic defense, right? So we were fighting for either the yards because they give up a lot of yards or the pick because they get a lot of picks. And I think we went with a more positive script, and I think it's a good one. I think we're going to hit it.
And then the one under we did take, David Sills. Who the fuck is this guy? How is he going to get over 20.5 receiving yards? We tried the under last week. We put it too early in the game, and it screwed us. But we're going to go with the under at 5 here because – look, there should be other people involved in this divisional battle than a guy named David Sills who, look, the Giants have done a lot of, hey, who is that guy this year? Richie James, David Sills, some of these guys. So, Austin, this was another one of your babies here. You really like this one. And you've had good luck on these unders, on these trashy guy unders. I
think we're finally hitting a good strategy on these lowers because, oh, my goodness, do I love taking the unders so much so that sometimes we get called the Undertakers on this.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I really do like the unders, especially on this because it's like David Sills might not be involved at all. Like easy
Right.
come, easy go. And I think if he is involved, 20.5 receiving yards is a very fair expectation for him. So I think it's a 50-50 if he's involved on the field that this is the number he gets. But I think it's a 50-50 if he gets involved on the field at all anyways. So I only see like a 25% chance of him breaking this, and I like being on the lower side here for that. Trevor, really quick though, does David Sills here look like Donnie if he worked out his neck for like 7 years straight?
Yeah, if you got one of those, what is the balls? Not the gag balls from BDSM, but more like the balls that like, you chew on and they work your jaw, your neck.
And then like the thing that Joe Rogan was pushing. Like
I mean,
neck.
yeah, exactly, yeah. We've got
I'll
Jersey
work on
J, like kind of the Jersey J vibe here. If you just get, on whatever it is he's on, it's clear. He's, I'm sure he's got it. It's legal. So those are the 5 we like. And as we do every week, we try to tier these out because we want to try and make our money back with some of the locks. We've yet to hit this year, but we're working on it here. And this is going to be the night. I have a feeling this will be it here. So Saquon Barkley and CeeDee Lamb over on their receptions, 3.5 for Barkley, 5.5 for CeeDee Lamb. That's 3 times your money if you go with that one. Bet slip number 2 is Saquon Barkley. Same thing on CeeDee Lamb. But then we add the Tony Pollard over 20. Is that 20 or 32?
22.5, I believe.
22.5 receiving yards. So again, we've been having some decent luck on these backs getting the receiving yard, and plus Pollard again, I think is going to be integral to this offense tonight.
And we were fighting for Pollard over 3 receptions. That was
we did like that one. They took it down, so obviously,
and they took it down.
Yeah, you know how that goes. I mean, we end up they pull out some of them because I think they realize the line is just a little too good. So that one is 6 times your money. So if that one's more your style, we can go with that one. Then bet slip number 3 that we put together, all those same 3, and then we add the Daniel Jones passing yards over to a 205.5. Austin's favorites here on the back end. And then bet slip number 4 for 20 times your cash here, even though it's $3 signs. It's 20 times your cash. 20. Yeah, we got all those ones we had before, and then we add the David Seals under. So that is what we like tonight. I think I'm feeling good about this bet slip and how we're going to work it. And then go for it, brother.
All right. Can you please next time have $20 signs? I don't like that there's only 3.
Yeah, I know. Only the 3 makes me feel like we're really not invested in manifesting that money into our pocket
on Thursday night.
Yeah. Look, here's the deal. I almost got fired last week for the graphics. I'm going to have to step my game up. Hopefully don't get fired again this week. But that's our bet slip. Again, using the promo code TFW, you can double your money up to $100. So please get on over there and do it because it's just a lot of fun.
It's going to be
add
fun.
A little bit of fun. Yeah, add a little bit of fun to the whole mix here.
So we got some questions coming in, starting at the top here with Jersey J. Swift is going to be out 3 weeks. Ouch. I'm up 54 points in my big money league, but going up against Gano, Giants defense, and Danny Dimes.
I think you're probably okay.
Yeah.
Let's say 25-ish. To Danny Dimes on a good night, and then you're sitting there with a defense anywhere 7 to 10, so 35. You're not going to get. I think you're pretty good here, Jersey J.
Feeling good on this one.
Yeah,
on this one. Follow up, and I'm also from her on out. CJ Patterson and Olave. Our lineup locks. Russell Wilson should be dropped. I'd play Mariota over him. You're definitely not going to be playing Russell Wilson till we see a little bit more action go, until we see a little more continuity in that offense. Yeah, let's hide on the bench for a little.
Yeah.
But Cordell
on the social media a little bit. Did anyone check his Instagram? Did he go out did he do another Tom Brady man, it was a solid game. Check out that defense out there.
I
into the highlight.
I don't want to play this. I sent this thing to Austin earlier today of just that it was one of the meme accounts saying it was showing him kind of praying in the middle of the field, and they were playing some gospel music, and they're like, after one drive where, they win by 1 point, Russell Wilson's out
after
there.
14 punts.
Yeah. I mean, it was a terrible, terrible game. But, these are the kind of games that I think will keep them in it and then keep them ready to go. I don't mind dropping him depending on what you need to go get and then playing the stream game from here on out. But at least try and sell him Maybe you got a Broncos fan in there. Maybe you got somebody who believes in Russ.
There's fans. You got someone in your league.
You got somebody in there you could probably try and move him for. But yeah, I don't mind Mariota over him. I mean,
full disclosure, as someone who did just pick up Russell Wilson, but did not start him, I don't have any plans to start him. I was actually kind of stoked watching Russell Wilson last night. He moved around in the pocket like old Russ.
Yeah, that last drive.
He definitely looked like old Russ that last drive.
He had some zip, dude, on the balls. I was like, oh, he can put it on a rope. Like, he can chuck it. And he's got really good weapons.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
It might be miscommunication for now.
And Russell Wilson.
Talk over you. It might be miscommunication because I feel like 70% of his balls were overthrown. So I don't know if it's
well, and if you notice, like the back shoulder stuff, he was not connecting on. He didn't look very good on some of the timing stuff. And that's what this is. It's reps with these guys. And I don't want to sit here and just be a Russ Wilson apologist, but that's where we're at. And we're again, I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. It feels like the guys that played in the preseason aren't struggling. And the guys that did, especially the guys that are coming to a new system, you felt like maybe you should have got in there a little bit, Russ, get some game action. So we'll see what happens. Definitely is a second half kind of guy that we're probably looking at here. I want to say what's up to Mr. Miyagi. Oh, sorry.
Hey!
How's it going, brother? He says, Kyle Pitts finally with a good week. Fantasy Jesus. The prayers were answered there. That was awesome.
Glad to see him getting more involved. And we had the Jersey J comment up there about Cordero Patterson. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
The question's answered. Cordero Patterson, I mean, we'll see if he keeps it going all season long, but geez, man, another great start coming in. I'm thinking about our take next to those in that Fantasy Football Expo in Canton when we were asking the question to the whole table of professionals, of experts. People get paid to do this. Randomly asked, Cordero Patterson or Cam Akers? And it was like we really started hashing it up. I mean, it was a split room, and it was kind of interesting. And we ended up
definitely have a situation that's going down there. I think the weird thing is it is going to be a little game script dependent. He hasn't been used in the passing game as much as I thought he would, but he is getting the carries in the games that they stay in. So if you project that to be a game like Seattle, the New Orleans game, which I was actually off him in the New Orleans game, but that's a game that he came through. So I think if we can continue to see them get, and then in that division, Carolina, they're going to be in games that they can run and get it going. And I think that's good for CPAT too.
Trade question with Swift Herd. I'm thinking of trading DK or Bateman for Josh Jacobs.
I'd probably not want to get Josh Jacobs back, but if you like, is there another running back you could trade out here? See I have problem. Oh, well, then maybe I can't talk you out of this. I have problems with both the receivers here. Bateman looks awesome. He's on limited snaps in that offense. Obviously DK is who DK is. He goes and does it. He should have had 2 touchdowns yesterday, but just could not get in there for the second one. But the yardage in that offense is really low. So he's becoming one of those touchdown-dependent guys. But he's getting 12 targets last week for DK. That was nice to see. So hopefully if Pete's telling the truth and they can open up, they're not going to get Atlanta every week. But there are going to be games where you like to see a little bit more work.
We're starting to see some real attempts coming out of Geno and the Seahawks coming in. Speaking of coming in, are we ready for him?
Yeah.
All right, we got our boy Z coming in. What's good, man?
What's going on, boys? Happy to be here again. How you doing?
Hell yeah, happy.
Dude, we're happy you're here.
Yeah,
man, I'm flying down. I was like, "Watch out, Grandma! I got a show to do." I was flying down.
No way.
I was like, "Why am I getting all the lights right now? I never get the lights in this time."
Welcome in, my brother. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Week 3, but it feels like I'm like, dude, it's got to be over soon, right? It's got to be over because this was a brutal one for me. I was like, dude, 12 more weeks of just like almost touchdowns that are overthrown or just fumbles by your running back. I'm like, oh my god, it's been.
Can't take it anymore.
Dude, this
it just hurts so bad.
What's not to sit in the pain, but sometimes you got to work through the pain to get to the light. So in that respect, what's some of the darkness you dealt with this weekend? What's sticking out?
I think I had the Aaron Jones fumble and the Alvin Kamara fumble. I traded Devontae Adams for Alvin Kamara and Keenan Allen, and I needed help at RB2. And that didn't really pan out, but I'm gonna stick with your studs. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
The darkness definitely is having any other quarterback that's not Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, or Josh Allen.
I saw a few of your tweets today on the QBs, the early round QBs.
I am going through a gauntlet of Lamar Jackson last week, Josh Allen this week, and I have Jalen Hurts in week 4. So I've lost 2 of these matchups to these elite quarterbacks. I have Stafford, and it's just I don't know what to do. I don't really know what to do. I'm looking at
you pray.
I'm looking at Mariota. I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence. I'm just like, man, and then I'm looking at Stafford at the Niners this weekend, primetime football. That's going to be bad. I'm not starting Stafford this week. That's for sure. He's out of the equation.
Lawrence has looked nice, actually. That offense is looking kind of legit, honestly.
Yeah. And they got they're queued up to take on the Eagles. I believe they're in Philly. So I don't know. That's kind of scary. That's kind of scary.
It's like so many guys. Like I'm in a quarterback hurting position in our league of record, where in weeks 1 and 2 between my tight end Cole Kmet and my quarterback, a combination of Trey Lance and Aaron Rodgers, netted me 6 combined points through week 1 and 2. That's 2 positions in 2 weeks. 0 out of Kmet, and then combined 6 there. So yeah, it hurts, man. But there's some things to get excited about. You look back there, and I picked up Jared Goff, and I was like, oh, he's going to get it going. The 15 points wasn't exactly it, but you can still hit these guys. Like they still pop up. They still kind of do their things. It's just catching them before they actually do it. Let's see. Who do you like on this question, Z? Jersey J asked about trading DK or Bateman for Josh Jacobs. We weren't totally in love with this, but if you had to make a call, which one would you go, or how would you recommend this?
What's up, Jersey? God, I think I'd trade Bateman for Jacobs. I think I would. The pass volume, I don't know. Well, both teams have really low pass volume. It's tough. I mean, it's really flip a coin with these 2 guys, honestly. I haven't looked at like any advanced statistics, but if you need like an RB2, Josh Jacobs is worth a shot. I mean, either one, pick your poison. You know what? Take DK. Bateman's got the better quarterback. Just ship DK for him. Bateman's got a better quarterback. That's going to be your tiebreaker right there. Better QB. I think better overall offense. And DK has some value right now, so you might as well just ship him for Jacobs.
Jacobs was all right last week. Stepmom Lauren coming on, giving a nod to Josh Jacobs. Yeah. They didn't care about the sickness, and he did all right like that game. Classic Mike, live from Giants Stadium. We had Classic Mike on the show last week, and he has got his family with him out in New York. I guess they play in New Jersey out there. That'll be a great time. Looks like he's already having some fun. The place is on fire. Look for the nearest exit. Stop, drop, and roll if necessary. Now we're just
hopefully there's no
here.
Drones. There was the Seahawks.
Oh yeah, that was wild
because of a drone.
Who's got anything?
The Seahawks game was.
Do we got anything going tonight?
Yeah.
I got to avoid 30 points from Cedi in my league of record.
Okay.
Travis, you need a game out of Saquon?
Yeah, I think I need about 10 points and a half PPR out of Saquon to win there. And then in another league, I need about 20 in a PPR between Saquon and CD. So those I think are probably doable. Should happen, but you never know. This is a low over under Z. I'm sweating this divisional ugliness tonight that could happen. But I think we'll be all right. What about you? I mean, are you waiting on anything here tonight?
I need 60 from Saquon Barkley.
Oh well, yeah. Then book it. Let's go.
We got the over for 3.5 receptions. Work out for me. We'll see. I don't know.
So one of the things, as we say on this program, we like to keep that week 1 feeling going all year long. And when the depression just piles up, you sometimes need to get a little bit of a fresh start as much as one can. And so we had built this bet slip, as we love to do over on Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't signed up, Whisper Nation, use the promo code TFW to get up to $100 in matched money. But I'm just going to fast forward to the end of this one, Z. Well, actually, let's go one by one on this. We started off, here's the ways that we liked them in the order. We like the higher on Saquon Barkley's receptions at 3.5. We like CeeDee Lamb over on the receptions as well, 5.5 for CeeDee. Tony Pollard over 22.5 receiving yards. And let's go, Danny Dimes, 206 passing yards or more, por favor. And then David Sills, 20.5 receiving yards. Jersey J did not like that one, but that's okay. So we've got a combination. We did the first two as one bet slip, and then we added that third, added that fourth, added that fifth. What do you think on this? Are we winning some money, or are we losing again?
I am such an over donkey. Like I'll take overs all day long. Sills, I'll take the under, and Jones, I'll take the under. What you guys have Jones for? You guys had him
over 205 passing yards.
Yeah.
So basically 206 passing yards.
I'll take him under. I'll take Jones's under on that, and Sills is under.
Okay.
This guy says he's an over donkey, and then he says he's going to be an Undertaker tonight. Now.
Oh,
he's got the Undertaker vibes.
Look at that production quality. That's perfect. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's how we do it around here. Yeah. Z, you were on with us last year. We watched the epic finish of that Chargers-Chiefs game on Thursday night. The butt ripple, the old butt ripple fumble. That was a good time.
Man,
how has your offseason been going? What's the regular season schedule been like? And what do you got going on? What's the weekly content looking like?
The weekly content is nothing like steady at all. I've kind of like resigned to just playing a lot of golf and just trying to and just,
probably better for your mental health.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I primarily have just done I just do rankings right now, football guys, and then I kind of just do my own little side projects. I've definitely tried to not invest overly into fantasy football content this year because I just need some sanity. But I am kind of working with new metrics as far as looking at wide receivers, looking at this metric I'm really into right now called weighted opportunity rating, where it's a metric that combines target share and air yards into one metric. So I think it's really indicative of future success in the league for tight ends and receivers alike. So I'm really just kind of playing with that right now, and I'm trying to incorporate target accuracy into that metric to make it even more accurate and more predictable. But other than that, I'm just kind of hanging in the background. I'm just doing some film work, I'm posting my clips of the film and stuff like that, and I do the film cut-ups. I've been having fun doing that for anybody that wants to see how their running back or wide receiver look for that week and don't know how to access that kind of stuff. I like putting that kind of stuff up on Twitter. So if you're wondering about how somebody's looking, how Zay Jones looked, these kind of under the radar guys that you're not going to really find on YouTube or,
where do I find it?
You're going to find it Twitter. Just look at my handle, ZKantzFF. If you need somebody, and if I have some time, I'll definitely post it. I have a lot of fun going through these games and making the cut-ups for everybody to enjoy.
I didn't know that you're pulling. That's awesome. I am going to be gobbling that up here.
Gobble.
Yeah, especially. You had some great ones in the preseason that I was just consuming the hell out of. I don't know if that's what you're going to say, Donnie, but you had some. Yeah.
Go ahead. I was going to say he was speaking my love language. My two loves in life are math and football, and he's talking about target accuracy for tight ends, wide receivers. I'm gonna be checking out his Twitter even more now. Gobble myself.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you.
Gus, another question here. Thinking of trading Jefferson for Tyreek and Dameon Pierce. He's got Diggs in London already.
You have Diggs in London already, and you're trading Jefferson. Well, it sounds like he needs more of the. It sounds like he wants the running back out of this trade. If he's trading Jefferson away.
Are you hurting for an RB2?
Yeah, I mean,
everybody's hurting for RB2 these days.
Yeah,
we haven't had as many injuries, I feel like, to the RB position just yet. I mean, we did see Montgomery yesterday, and then obviously Mitchell in week 1. But since then, it's kind of been. I mean, just between those two, usually I feel like we're already cycling through a ton. I mean, Connor was supposed to be another one. He played, and he played hurt. You could tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hesitant to do this deal, but I understand needing a running back. I feel like you can get more than Dameon Pierce back in that deal. But maybe the Tyreek Hill name is just too much there. So
I understand the hesitation with Jefferson. I mean, Jefferson's elite, and Tyreek is he's just a shade under, I think, elite right now. He's just under that tier. But the one good, I mean, I don't hate it. If you got to do it, Gus, and if you need that running back, Tyreek's not going to kill your. This isn't going to kill your team. I think that's what you guys.
Well, yeah, no. Not with those other wide receivers.
Not with those other wide receivers, especially. So, like if we talk about London, right, and I was talking about the weighted opportunity rating, right? When you're looking at those scores, a score of 0.70 is elite. That's what you're looking for that weighted opportunity rating. London was 0.77 in week 2. He was 0.77 in week 3. I didn't look at his score, but I'm sure it was around that area. So I'm comfortable with London. I think we're all comfortable with London going rest of season. So I don't hate this for your team, guys. I wouldn't mind it. It's always scary letting go of those guys. Like I said, I traded Devontae Adams for Kamara and Keenan Allen. It's always scary getting those guys that are absolute studs and wrecking balls in the position. But yeah, you're set up. And another thing about Tyreek Hill is that Dolphins offense now, I think we can safely say that they are a pass first offense. They're not going to really lean on that run game at all. So I think the passing philosophy leans in Tyreek's favor.
I'm okay with this one. And we usually say whoever gets the best player in the trade wins the trade. It's a common trope we throw out there. Jefferson is the best player in this trade, but I like what you said there, Z, about Tyreek being really just a hair behind. And if we look at the other receivers that Gus is rocking, a combo of Tyreek and Diggs gives you just a good enough shot to beat any 2 wide receivers any week. He has that upside. And the questions I feel like we had for Tyreek coming into this new team in this new year have been answered. It's like, is Tyreek a product of Patrick Mahomes? The answer is no. Has Tyreek lost a step at age 28? The answer is no. I think that Tyreek is a more integral part of this McDaniels game plan than maybe he was in the Andy Reid game plan. Like, it's very intentional. He's very good. I don't think you're going to see him become an ancillary piece anytime soon. And Jefferson and Tyreek both had down weeks. They both bring that crazy upside. I kind of like Dameon Pierce here too. I'm okay. I'm okay on it. But yeah, I like what Travis said. If you can get a better running back, even because Justin Jefferson is so nice.
Yeah, he's saying he has Dylan, Ramondre, and Harris and Brees. So, I kind of think that you still have some RB2 stuff here to cycle through, and you don't necessarily have to get rid of Jefferson just yet. If you really want Tyreek, and that's what you're going for, maybe you upgrade the running back maybe you give away the running back instead of Jefferson, or a couple running backs, and a running back in London to get Tyreek. That's what I would actually be looking to do with the roster you have here. Because I think what we saw out of the use, obviously Mac Jones getting hurt kind of hurts the Patriots, but I really like the utilization we saw out of Stevenson last week. He really came through as a guy that they were throwing the ball to. He scored. I think,
are we in unison on that? The Patriots are worse without Mac Jones.
Yeah,
I think.
Look at what Devontae Parker did yesterday. I don't think Brian Hoyer or Bailey Zappi is going to do that. Yeah, I think so. What Mac Jones all of a sudden a rushing quarterback in week 3.
Yeah, well, we saw what happened when he tried to rush. No, just kidding. I think he got hit on a non-running play, but still, that got wild.
Well,
he was
too.
Pulling out his Pro Bowl tactics there. That's what he looked like. Parker was a guy too I was about to be excited about coming off of last week. He's a guy you'd want to put in the waiver wire, but with the Mac Jones situation, it's I don't know. Do we think Hoyer is good enough to carry any of these weapons?
Will Bill Belichick open up the offense enough to let these weapons happen? Is my biggest question on it on a kind of a consistent basis is what I'm wondering.
And I do think even if Mac Jones was still in and maybe even limited or whatever, we were talking a little bit about it off air, but Z, this passing defense, this defense for Baltimore, it's not only depleted and beat up, but this might be a little bit of fool's gold for the Patriots offense, what we saw yesterday because of that defense. So unless they get in against other defenses, I think that we could be looking at a more conservative offense week to week, obviously.
I took a moonshot with Nelson Aguilar with that same philosophy. I just got the wrong wide receiver, and we saw Parker, right? I thought, we saw Nelson Aguilar go for 6 for 6 and that beautiful touchdown catch down the sideline. So Travi, I'm right there with you, man. I know that defense, that secondary is one that we're going to target, and also I think that secondary is going to be a big reason why we see Lamar Jackson's pass attempts be higher than they should be. Because the Ravens offense are one of the lowest pass attempt teams in the league. So we're going to see that secondary cause a lot more passing attempts. So yeah, whoever was asking about Bateman earlier, trade DK Metcalf because we're going to see a lot more passing attempts.
There you go.
Yeah, that's where I was kind of winding up on that. It hurts to trade DK. I love DK the player, but I think just the situation he's in. But the problem is I have questions about Bateman too. They're rotating him out a little bit. They're not putting him in at that 80-90% route participation. They're pulling him off the field quite a bit because they run so many of those multiple tight end fronts. But maybe that's just a rookie thing, and they're trying to keep him healthy for the long run. I mean, he's a big part of what they want to do long term. So maybe that could be part of it too. It's like a load management thing.
For sure.
Franz, what's good? Welcome to the show. Would you trade Swift for Breece Hall in the half-point PPR dynasty? I would not. I like Breece Hall.
Do that.
You guys get some tough questions in here. You guys get some
guys. Breece Hall does what we've seen DeAndre Swift do. You're very happy.
Yeah.
He hasn't done it yet.
I definitely be holding Swift.
Is he out a few weeks? Is it worth getting a starter for a few weeks?
Well, it's dynasty.
Oh, it's dynasty.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be doing this. And the reason is really the offensive line, the offensive environment, what we see out of Detroit. Those arrows are pointing a lot more up for me than, the Jets. And I think the Jets are fine. They got a lot of good arrows too, but we're actually seeing it come to a little bit of fruition with Detroit in these games and with the line too. So
to play devil's advocate, I mean, DeAndre Swift injured once again though, right? So
for sure.
This is a pattern. I mean, I want Swift in this side just because you want that upside and you want that talent. And Breece Hall has that. And, I think he'll find it sometime this season. And then his value is going to skyrocket. And but Swift, injured week 3 already, and they're going to miss, he's going to put he's a wet blanket for a lot of the teams that took him in the second round relying on him. So I don't know. Oh, also go pick up Craig Reynolds in redraft and go pick up Ty Chandler in redraft. Man, if Ty Chandler pops, I'm gonna have shares of Ty Chandler in redraft for sure.
Over in Minnesota?
First I heard about that.
Yeah, over in Minnesota, yeah. Yeah, he's behind. He'll be. I'm assuming he's behind Madison if he's not behind Kenny Nwangu right now.
Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like a lot of what we've heard too is this is not a new thing for Dalvin Cook. So with the shoulder, and I'm not saying like he's not a re-injury risk. He probably definitely is with the shoulder, but it's definitely something he's used to, and he's probably planning to play through for sure.
Speaking of those Jets, Travie, Zach Wilson expected to now come back next week.
Yeah,
that's the report. I mean, the Flacco phenom resurgence. It looks to be over. It looks like we saw some cool work the first 2 weeks, but I'm not feeling great about it. It doesn't seem like the Jets and Salah are either. How are we feeling about Zach Wilson?
I think we might need to fact check this, but I heard that the Jets were chanting for Mike White on Sunday with Joe Flacco screwing up
Mike Captain White.
So yeah, I love Garrett Wilson. I went out and acquired him in all the leagues I could off the waivers for the places he got dropped, and he has looked great. I mean, but he's really been the apple of Joe Flacco's eye, right? Like he's been the guy that Flacco's looked to. But in these situations, especially with wide receiver, I forget who was tweeting this, and I'd love to hear Z's take on this. But they said it was Adam Levitan, actually, I think. And he said, with wide receivers, I lean towards talent. With running backs, you lean towards opportunity. And I think that is where I'm leaning right now with Garrett Wilson shares and even Breece Hall shares and some of these offensive Elijah Moore. You're like, oh, Zach Wilson could really kill the offense. And he could. But I'm just kind of leaning into a little bit of the talent with these guys. And, man, Garrett Wilson looks really good. His opportunities where he's getting them look great. All we need, Dwayne McFarland pointed this out today on his podcast. There is a world where actually Zach Wilson's better than Joe Flacco. I mean, we don't think that's going to happen, but we still have that mystery box with our guy, Zach Wilson. So let's hope it happens. But, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know where you're at, Z, with kind of the Jets offense as this game kicks off here.
I don't know. I think real quick, I'll touch on that. I'll say that, there is a world where Zach Wilson, he can. It's his second year, and we'll see what happens. We didn't see anything promising in year one. I'm not betting on him. I was not a believer of him going into the draft, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that didn't give me much confidence there.
I think
I get it, and I get it 100%.
When he comes in, he's gonna get yards with someone, and it's gonna be one wide receiver getting the majority of the targets. So if you can get that wide receiver correctly, good for you.
CeeDee Lamb with about a 14-yarder there to start off, so that was good.
One out of the
reception. More.
Z, maybe you could remember this. If I remember right, Elijah Moore actually did better with the non-Zach Wilson quarterbacks, right?
With Mike White.
Yeah, with Mike White was his dude last year.
Yeah, he popped off.
So we just,
crazy.
I mean, I don't know.
Michael Carter went crazy with Mike White.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's where he was seeing the 9 targets, 9 reception kind of games.
Yeah.
We've got to end around here to Tony Pollard for about 13.
Run, not a reception, though, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Rest of season.
He'll get there.
Mike White, Hoyer, or Rush?
I'd take Mike White.
I'd go with Mike White, too.
That's the other thing about Zach Wilson seems to be a little bit fragile. And I don't like saying injury prone, but he's been banged up twice now.
Yeah.
I mean, so
emotionally fragile.
Well, I mean, yeah, he might be emotional fragile, but he's got to have some sort of
in the bedroom.
Maybe
exactly.
Maybe that's how he.
Maybe the moms. Yeah, maybe the moms are emotionally fragile.
This guy's a chicken hawk, dude.
Cougar hunter, man.
Yeah, I know.
Was that Zeke? Did Zeke finally get some?
There we go.
Yeah.
Interested to see. I'll be interested to see what Zeke looks like in the spotlight tonight. It's getting a lot of criticism, and
we thought about taking the over 15.5 attempts.
To be fair, I was the only one really pushing for that.
I was 50-50.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Austin did talk a little bit of sense into me here. I'm actually interested to see the split and realistically the passing work for Pollard because we saw it so much in that first game with Cooper Rush and so much against the Bengals. So I'm interested to see what they do here against the Giants.
Holding.
This one's not going to count coming back for holding.
So that doesn't count as a rush attempt for Zeke now, right?
No,
it's a no play. It's a no play. Yeah.
Carson Wentz is fragile emotionally and physically.
Yeah, Carson Wentz had a bad day. He's down bad after that.
Man,
it's a payback game against my former team.
former team,
and you did nothing.
Who was your former team, Don?
No. Carson Wentz going against the Eagles this week.
Yeah,
it was his former team, and he thought he was going to have a comeback game, but nope.
You guys have faith in Trevor Lawrence playing the Eagles next week in Week 4?
I wouldn't say I have faith in him, but I'm very enticed to see, similar to Tua, like I was last week, where coming into this week I was excited. Now Philly's playing lights out right now on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So I'd be a little bit more nervous than Trevor Lawrence because coming into the Tua game, all of their secondary was hurt. So, with Buffalo. But I'm excited. I think EPA per dropback, I'd have to check it after week 3. But after week 2, I'm pretty sure that Trevor Lawrence after 2 weeks was the second or first best in EPA per dropback. Yeah. And so that's nice to see out of Trevor Lawrence. And Doug Peterson's got them playing well, man. Mm-hmm. That was a nice showing against the Chargers.
How about Zay Jones, man? Having a nice career, a career spike right now. Just taking a nice little Gabe Davis trajectory arc.
Yeah, exactly. Or even the Devontae Parker a little bit, their 4-year, 5-year breakout. How many years has Zay Jones been in here?
He was brought in, I believe.
So.
Yeah, he's brought in the year, I believe, Gabe Davis. He's essentially a Gabe Davis clone. That's what he is. He's like almost the same exact measurable height.
Same room at the same time.
27. He was drafted in 2017.
Travis, side on note of that, because I've been looking at it. We talk all the time in our Dynasty League of Record how you get no good picks. Like after round 3 or 4, it just never happens. Jeremy picked up Gabe Davis round 7.
Yeah. I mean, I think the time to sell Gabe Davis was probably this offseason. I mean, nobody's gotten more hype than Gabe Davis in the offseason here in Dynasty.
For him,
yeah.
Where are you at on Gabe Davis, Z?
I was okay. So a lot of people were high on Gabe Davis and believers at his cost. I wasn't one of those guys. I was a believer of him when I got him for free off the waiver wire in all of my leagues 2 years ago. That's where I was in on Gabe Davis, not in round 5. I'm in on Jalen Waddle and T. Higgins and all those guys in round 5, or whoever else you're going to get in round 5, right? I was not a Gabe Davis guy. Like, I knew Gabe Davis had value, and I know he has skill as a receiver, but he is not as polished as any of those other receivers going in that round, right? His value comes from the offense that he's in and the skill set that he provides to that offense as a red zone threat, right? So, I mean, he's essentially displaced Dawson Knox as a red zone threat when he's in the game. And that's where his value is at. And he has value in redraft, but in Dynasty, as long as he's on the Bills, he has value. That's all I'll say. And until, Khalil Shakir develops into something, we really have nothing else to worry about, and you can continue to go forward and start Gabe Davis in your fantasy lineups when healthy.
What were we calling him yesterday? Honestly, almost like a poor man's, like a mid-level Mike Williams.
Mike Williams,
and he's almost like a rich man's Alan Lazard last year when Devontae was still on the team. You know what I mean? Like he's a richer version of that because the offense is going to be a little bit more aggressive.
Robbie Anderson.
That's not a. Yeah, definitely rich man's Robbie Anderson for sure. I think you're right, Z. And what we've seen and what Dwayne McFarland did a good job of pointing out all offseason is that he just doesn't demand targets. He gets little targets, but then those are saturated in touchdowns. They go deep down the field. Like you can win with that when your quarterback's Josh Allen. But yeah, I think he's definitely one of those boomer bust flex plays more than he is a for sure wide receiver 2. For you each and every week.
You don't need him to be that vein. They can get it done in other ways, and Stephon Diggs has big play potential to him already. He's like a Keenan Allen, but faster.
And I'm not even 100% sure, and maybe this is off, but if we were to see Diggs miss time, I'm not even 100% sure it would all go to Gabe Davis, a guy who doesn't demand targets, and not these underneath guys. We saw Cole Beasley thrive in this offense, Isaiah McKenzie and Crowder. Isaiah McKenzie last week really soaking up a lot of the stuff when a team has good corners like Miami does. So, something just to keep in mind there on Gabe Davis. And if you can get him to give a pop game and sell him for something a little bit more stable, I'm not against that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I was a little iffy on drafting him as well. I was always debating between him and Devontae Smith in the same region, I think. And I think 9 out of 10 times I got Devontae Smith, and I was sad about that until this last weekend. That made me very happy.
One name that was no one even uttered Devontae Smith's name in the offseason.
Yeah, he was very.
Yeah, it's so quiet because everyone AJ Brown.
Yeah, man, and the Eagles just had Smith. They knew the entire time. They're like, oh no, Smith's going to go off.
And then week 1 on top of it goes along with that narrative. AJ Brown goes off, and then nothing for Devonta Smith. But this Eagles offense is able to throw the ball. Yeah, and it's going to have up and down games for both guys. But yeah, I feel really good about Devonta Smith rest of season.
I can't wait. Next year, I'm taking in redraft. I'm taking Jalen Hurts with my first pick. I'm dead set on it. I don't care. 1 QB leagues, I'm taking him. I'm so done with running backs and wide receivers. I got beat. I have Cooper Kupp in my lineup last week, AJ Brown and Jalen Waddle, and a guy with Michael Pittman and Christian Kirk beats me because he has Josh Allen as his quarterback.
Right. Oh my God, no, Saquon, man. The big drop for our bet slip there. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, you would have gotten all the yards there, huh?
The last 16 years of fantasy football for me have always been an RB first guy. Well, this is the first year that's changed my mind. I'm going wide receiver first round next year, I think.
Right. Yeah, I'm definitely not going running back next year.
Yeah, I'm switching now. This is the last year I did it. I'm not doing it anymore. Next year, wide receiver.
I mean, we're just also seeing we'll see how it plays out in the second round, but and we'll see how Saquon goes. He had the one big game, and now it's kind of come back to earth. But that's how it was last year. You look at all these teams that really thrived. James Conner, what are we talking about here? Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, second round running backs. Last year really popped, which means going wide receiver first, or even a Kelsey. Or an Andrews in the second round right now is looking absolutely like a smash.
We're just going Hurts Andrews in the first 2 rounds in a redraft.
That's great. Yeah. You'd be doing great. You'd be 3-0.
And then this brings me back to a little PTSD. how the year after Cam Newton's MVP finish, where I had him ranked as my #1 overall quarterback. And I'm like, but I'm not going to take him because he's going to be up there way too early. I drafted 2nd overall in our league of record, 12-person league. And in the 2nd round, it's coming all the way back. And he's like 10+ spots beyond ADP at this point.
Right.
Cam Newton's available. He was supposed to be going in the 1st round. It's the end of the 2nd now. Oh, Saquon Barkley there with a catch and run.
There's a catch. So we only need 3 more here, right?
Take it.
Easy.
Yes.
I think so.
4 total.
Easy.
And then what does Cam Newton do? He just completely poops the bed. And that to me was the moment when I'm like, I'm not going to take a quarterback early anymore. You know what I do? And this is actually what I've done in the past, and it's worked out so far. It almost seems like a little bit excessive. But if you to either get one of those like mid-round quarterbacks in rounds like 5, 6, and 7, and then get yourself like one more further down the line. So then, you'd be getting yourself a Lamar, a Jalen Hurts, a Kyler Murray, a Justin Herbert right there in that kind of round. And then get yourself later down maybe a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields, something like that. Or avoid that 5th, 6th, 7th round quarterback and then take 3 down low. Get yourself like a Stafford, an Aaron Rodgers, and a Trey Lance, something like that might be available for you. And
that's some serious roster cloggage right there.
I know, but it's like to your point about how you hate getting like dicked on by these quarterbacks who break it for over 30 points.
Yeah,
like how else are you going to do that and still maintain the rest of your roster? It's an interesting question.
It's just really difficult now because you see, I mean, it's not like an overwhelming majority of quarterbacks, but like there are 3 elite quarterbacks right now, and that's tough competition. You got to fit 3 elite quarterbacks is substantial when you're. Was that Bellinger?
Yeah, look at this tight end just getting all the yardage for our guy Daniel Jones right now.
Jones, he's looking a little athletic.
I mean, like this, it's tough playing against 3.
Well, I agree with you that we should have been more aggressive on the quarterbacks, Z. I don't think it should be the first. I think obviously there's probably a little hyperbole there that's going on with you, Z, but maybe not. I remember how hard you were banging the drum for Antonio Gibson. So look, have fun with it. Go do it. But I will tell you right now that I think as someone who banged the drum so hard for Jalen Hurts in the offseason and got 1 share in 8 leagues of him, like we weren't aggressive enough on the early round quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen even. Everybody said you can't take him because he's the first quarterback. But what happens if he falls to the 3rd round, 4th round? To me, that's a smash because he is the actual prototype of what we want. He's a better thrower than all those guys, and he runs. So, to me, he was the perfect Konami quarterback. And there's no coincidence that he's back-to-back QB1 now because of that. We're seeing him in his prime with a bunch of weapons, throwing like he does and running like he does. So definitely I think we're going to see a shift in aggressiveness towards the early round quarterback.
Exactly.
I don't know, that 1st or 2nd round is the right answer, but it'll be interesting to see how this year plays out too. Right now, and I put this in our 10 stats episode, Lamar is on pace for 7 more points, a touchdown plus more per game than he was in his MVP season. So 34 points per game to 27 points per game in that 2019 season. So right now, I mean, you're spot on that through 3 weeks we are seeing, absolute gold mine in these running quarterbacks.
Yeah,
these elite quarterbacks.
Not Kyler Murray though.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's been a little rough.
Nope. That looks completely dysfunctional. I don't know if it's on Cliff or Kyler, but Kyler's not the best passer in the league right now, and he's missing some easy throws. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem like the last 4th quarter of that game, I believe, in week 3 against the Rams, like their clock management wasn't horrible, but they were like kind of taking these slow runs. They're just like dinking and dunking down the field. Like you got to pick up the pace. You got to start moving. And I understand that your pocket isn't the best or the most sustainable, but you got one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the world. Like move him out. Like do some naked bootleg rollouts. Like just get something going.
You buy low on Moreno?
So I'm contemplating putting him as a buy low right now because I think I have a lot more confidence in Murray than I do like a Russell Wilson, obviously, because I think Murray's way more athletic, obviously.
And when Hopkins comes back.
Yeah, we're going to get Hopkins back. I think Rondale Moore, too. Like, if we can get Rondale Moore back in the Greg Dortch role, soaking up the Greg Dortch targets, because they're going to be there. This offensive line has a little bit of issues. James Conner banged up. So then, we're talking week 6, week 7. We've got Hopkins. We've got Ertz. We've got Rondale Moore. Maybe A.J. Green back. Yeah, Hollywood, man. What did he end up with? 14 targets? 17 targets, ton of receptions, PPR stud last week. You finally got to see some of that connection get going. Yeah, I think Murray's a decent buy low. I mean, he's not – I don't think he ends up in the tier that we're talking about here with these other guys, but –
the case against Kyler Murray on this one would be that he gets worse as the season goes on. He hasn't started off good yet. The concerns were on his ability to prepare. He had a tumultuous offseason coming in, and they don't look really cohesive or anything so far. And you say, like, oh, we're going to get Hopkins back. We're going to get Rondale Moore back. It's like, that's even more new players possibly. Is that going to jump in and help him right away? It should. But I have seen in this one, I'm taking dudes who are mentally committed over physical freaks every day. And I'm just not sold on Kyler Murray.
Mentally committed then. So would you do Russ and RB2 for Murray? Like Russ and Pierce or Russ and Jacobs?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd do
right
that.
now.
I'd do that too.
I think I would try to do that and then try to trade Kyler Murray for even more. Like on that. Like I don't really want Kyler Murray on my team. Like I'll play the value game. But
yeah, I think the difference I think my concern actually isn't so much with Kyler. It's the whole offensive environment. And that starts as kind of as he was saying at the top with Cliff Kingsbury.
Yes.
Like Cliff Kingsbury, I think he's a donkey, dude. Like, I don't think he's good. Like, I think he's a guy that like got paid off of the air raid, and he's still running that same air raid offense from years ago, which is really like a horizontal raid. It's not even an air raid. And it's like, I'm just not in on it, man. I think he's not making adjustments. And now, yes, the onus is on Kyler to be a hard worker, 100%. That's the only thing you can control is your work ethic. But also a coach that helps you like want to actually study film and like want to change and innovate, that helps too. So that's what I would be kind of saying here is that maybe Cliff is kind of screwing everybody here. What is up, Snap, in the chat here? Want to say what's up to Mac and Lando and the boys? How's it going?
Yeah, the whole college coach rumors surrounding him this offseason made no sense to me, but it's making sense now, I think. It's making more sense.
Yeah.
Cliff?
Yeah. I think he was a USC head coach candidate at one point before Lincoln Riley was swifted away.
I think Cliff is not long for the Cardinals if this keeps up, and I think Hackett's already. Yeah, I think he's his.
That is so wild to me.
But we do have Sean Payton sitting out there, so he's going to have some. What's up?
Ooh, Payton there would be
First
nice.
down. Oh my God,
dude, Sean Payton with Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson, I'd be interested in to see how that would turn out.
What about the Geno Smith? Because I think Pete Carroll's gone too.
Well,
I don't know.
I think
they like Pete, man.
If we love Pete. I'm a biggest.
They chose Pete over Russ. They can't fire him after this year.
I think if he has I don't think they'll fire him. I think he's gotten to that age. If he has another losing season, 2 in a row, I think he might call it quits. I mean, he's the oldest head coach in the league. I could see it happening.
I am not mad at Pete for running the offense that he prefers to run, this run first offense. It's just that with Russell Wilson, it was a slap in the face. It's an effective offense when you like. Imagine what happens if they get Kenneth Walker going. Imagine what happens if Kenneth Walker starts getting going in the.
He had a run. And I was really impressed. I mean, it was only one. He's only had one so far. But the part to me that actually stood out, Travis, you talked about what makes, like we were asking, what are you a sucker for in fantasy? Where is your cognitive bias lie? What are mistakes you found yourself making over the years? Is there a common thread? And Travis was talking about narrative. Like he falls in love with the narrative. And for me, it's a little bit of like when a couple of things line up, I'm like, that showed us the trajectory and that line goes forever. And it's like, I fall into that trap for sure. And when I saw Kenneth Walker make that run and then later in that game, sit down next to Rashad Penny, and Rashad Penny gave him those like veteran words of wisdom. Did you hear those, Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker? No. He's like, man, you've earned it to be here. It's just about having fun now. Go have fun. Nobody can catch your speed, Ken. You know, you are here now. You've earned your position to get to this spot. Just do you. Have fun. He's like, that's what CC used to tell me, Chris Carson. You know, like, you earned getting here. Just go out and do your thing now, man. And it was almost like, you know, Rashad Penny, who's the guy, though, almost like handing it off or reading the tea leaves or just seeing what it is and really encouraging to just have fun and go off. And when he's able to break those kinds of runs where he fully reverses course on the field and gets another like 10, 12 yards from it, I'm like, that shows a little bit of a vision and an appetite and ability that you don't always see. So I'm not just saying this because I drafted him in the 8th round of our league of record. I'm saying, let's go, Ken Walker. Let's make it happen.
Fantasy Dog says, y'all are awesome. Just saying. We appreciate that. You're awesome, man. Thanks for joining us. And if you're not already, subscribe to the channel if you like what you hear, like what you see. Daily content coming out. We love doing this and talking ball.
Give Kyler a break after all. It was COD beta weekend.
There we go. There we go.
I didn't get the pre-order on that, man. I didn't get that game. I heard it was good. Though. It looked good.
I just love that we have data to back this up. He didn't throw a single touchdown in that game, so I think the streak is still alive here.
I heard that they're going to be releasing a Kyler Murray skin in Call of Duty. That is an achievement. You can play as Kyler Murray. And you get to be really fast, but your bullets fly everywhere like they're little.
Oh my god, dude.
Jesus.
Oh my god, look at that.
Cool, man. The Kyler Murray disses are coming out hot.
Yeah, we're hot in here.
It's okay. He can buy some new skin if he's feeling pierced.
Speaking of skin, you watched the new Dahmer show?
Yeah, I'm on episode like 4 or 5. Nice segue, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Speaking of skin, you watch that psychopath.
I thought he was going to go the Manscaped plug there.
Oh,
I was like, speaking of skin, shave it down to the skin.
Oh,
wait, what?
That's why you're the professional.
Oh, Zeke. Did we have a Zeke?
No, we voted against.
No, I know. Did we have a Zeke on the touchdown though at all?
No.
Was that an option? No, was it an option?
No, I don't think.
I don't think it was. There was like fantasy points.
Yeah.
Fantasy points.
Okay.
My cats are allowed on the live stream. Are cats allowed on the live stream?
Oh, absolutely. Get them out of here, cat dads. Here, hold on. I'll be right back.
I feel sad now.
Boys, come on.
This is my cat Meshach. Everybody.
Should I go get mine too now? Is that what Travis doing?
I don't know, but we're just gonna go full. This is Meshach's show now. Hello, everybody. It's my cat. Oh, he's getting excited. Hello. Bringing him back.
Fuck it, I'm gonna go grab mine now.
This is my co-host.
Let me see. Oh,
that's one of them.
Oh, what's that one's name?
This is Neko. Which means
Neko?
It means cat in Japanese.
Neko cat looks so smooth. Neko looks like fluffy smooth and soft.
Wait, let's get him. That's him. My co-host, and then the other one's in here too right now.
He's a cute cat.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
That's good.
Cat is my co-pilot.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I've got Meshach is going to be sitting here with me now. He's just going to be sitting on the desk with me, which is sweet. What's your other cat's name? Neko and what?
Neko and Obi.
Obi,
come here. He's going to jump up right now. Here he comes. Come here. Come here. Oh, well, we got football too. Let's see what happens. Cooper rush. Tip pass. 3rd and goal. Flag.
There's been a lot of flags to start this game off, see?
Yeah, these are sloppy games.
Yeah.
Holding. Offense, most likely.
Oh, Donnie with the kitty.
Oh, my God. I think it's going down.
Oh, look at that one. What's his name? Her name?
Her name's Hazelnut.
Her name is Hazelnut. Hazelnut. That's cute.
This is awesome. This is legit. Will they go for it here? Is this where Cooper Rush flames out and the Cowboys come back down to earth?
Or just where they ascend, become gods. Oh, we got Big Travie with a special one. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Cats.
I'm going solo zoom on you, Gabby.
This is Mumford. He says hi. Well, he's really pissed because
that is he's an amazing looking cat.
yeah, he's a beauty.
Wow.
I've never seen him on stream.
Yeah, he usually is napping.
Is that a Maine Coon?
That's what he wants to do right now. So I gotta close this door really quick.
This is all just for your cats on stream.
So we got some comments coming in here in the thread. Oh, there we go. Snap question here. Heavy correlation.
Yeah. What's your cat's name, Z? We probably already went over this. Sorry.
This is Neko up here, and then Obi is down here.
Obi, like Obi-Wan?
Like Obi-Wan essentially. Yeah.
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 Oh, nice. Should I trade Lamar for Russ and Gabe Davis? You should not be getting rid of Lamar at all.
Oh no, don't do this, Valves.
Lamar is your cheat code this year. If he stays healthy,
Someone's trying to fleece you here.
Yeah.
Don't do this.
No.
Oh, but Gabe Davis is Josh Allen's number 2 target, and he's so good and loves him, and he's going to be a wide receiver 1. And Russell Wilson's like always been
Don't care.
top 5 quarterback.
I guarantee you, Valves, that there are wide receivers on your waiver wire right now that are going to be difference makers for you that haven't fully blossomed
Or just
yet.
look at the last 2 that are like outscoring Gabe Davis. And I'm not just saying this because I picked him up in my league of record, but Curtis Samuel is out targeting everybody in Washington off the waivers right now. And he's getting scheme touches out of the backfield, like a miniature Debo. Yeah. And then you go with Garrett Wilson, who was a waiver guy last week. Those guys I think
on the waiver wire.
Olave, man, who I picked up in a couple other leagues too.
Right.
Olave, man. Olave was the best because last week, Z, he had over 300 air yards, and we're like, oh, is this really going to pan out? And this week, boom. You love it when the math works out.
Love it when the math works out. Math is a universal language.
Yeah.
Showed us.
Oh.
What happened?
Oh, Mishak wants those glasses. He was gnawing on them.
He's got an oral fixation for sure.
There we go.
And he loves doodads. And this dude likes to pick up little plastic things. This is actually Mishak's dinosaur that I keep up there for him. He's missing an arm.
Oh, that's fucking funny. Oh, how did this? Did we get any points out of this while I was grabbing them?
Field goal.
Okay. Who cares? The cats dominate. Who run the world? Cats.
Dude.
I forgot I put that flea medicine on Hazelnut's back of her head. So when I kissed her, I got that in my nose. I went. Yeah. I put it back and I just washed my face real fast.
Been there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Your eyes are flea free.
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, he's coming in here looking like Will Smith from Hitch.
His eyes are purple, but no fleas. So we got a fantasy question. Fantasy Dog, what's up, dog? I need 30 points from Dallas defense to take over first place in a 96 teamer.
Wow, what?
8 copies. I've never even heard of that. Copies.
So you can have there could 18. Be 8 Cooper rushes in the league.
Oh yeah, you can have 8
people can own him.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You ever done anything like that, Z?
No, I just heard about it this offseason though.
Man, we are just getting obsessed with trying the next thing, huh?
I don't know if I have the stomach for this.
No, I haven't tried guillotine yet either, but I definitely am I'm getting more interested.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something where I've been like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
What's the difference between guillotine and vampire?
I think they're the same. I don't know. Z, do you know?
I've never heard of vampire leagues.
What's one? It's like you somebody is gone.
And the loser goes. Yeah, and then his players go to the waiver, I believe.
That's what so guillotine is if your team gets eliminated, your entire team gets released back into the waiver pool.
Are you still in the league?
Every losing team or the lowest team?
The lowest scoring team. I'm sorry, the lowest scoring team for the week. Yeah.
We might have to do something.
There's so there's 2 kinds of strategies. You want to have the highest score. You want to put up enough points, or or you want the wins. What if you're a winner, but you're still like a lowest scoring team? Because there are winners who are the lowest scoring team sometimes. No, that can't happen.
No, that's
I love that. Yes, dude, that was great. That's perfect. That's perfect live TV. The math guy comes in here and goes, what if You were the lowest
I'm
scorer.
not the math guy. I'm definitely not the math guy. Absolutely not.
Oh my God,
awesome.
that was great.
Daniel
Only
Jones.
we're
Wait, it's
missing.
possible
Sills.
to win.
Oh shit!
No, that's
no.
for Sills.
No.
That's Sills?
Did he get
Yeah, that
Like
wasn't
5
20,
yards?
25 at least. Yeah, it was like 5 or 6.
It was like 27.
20.
No.
What was that little line move? Like, how do you?
Oh, look at this. This is the White Lazard. Is that what this guy is?
number 13?
Lazard.
Did you see Lazard puking on the sideline?
Yeah, dude. So first of all, in both the Florida games, they were just basically Florida man games because guys were puking. In the Tampa game before kickoff, they had a bee's nest underneath the
Yeah, I
goalpost.
saw that.
It was just like there, and dude,
was like
Scott
big.
Hansen. Scott Hansen's like, "What are we doing, guys? Just go to Ace Hardware, pick up a can of bug spray." I'm like, "Dude, don't talk about killing bees live on TV, man.
Yeah,
We need the bees."
Oh,
What
they're
am I
playing
saying?
danger,
Handle
bro.
bees other than like just spraying them with the pesticide.
Yeah.
But also, there's probably an Ace Hardware right around the corner. So
Yeah.
Have you
pick
guys
that up.
seen the episode of The Office where Dwight challenges his new worker how to get rid of a bee's nest, and he gives him tools to do it, and he chooses a
No.
baseball bat?
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
yeah, I've seen that one.
Never.
That's what was the other thing I was going to say here? I don't remember. It's gone. But we've got a 3-0. What did we just end the first quarter here?
I think
That
so.
must have been what it is.
Already?
Hashtag
think
save.
so.
No,
Time flies.
I'm out.
I don't know.
Oh,
What are you guys thinking? Like, I know we're in week 3 and it feels like it's already been such a long season, and there are going to be countless things that come up, and there's going to be players that just increase in value. Do you like if you're using your sixth sense, like that we've acquired? I think in fantasy football, I think we look at the data sheets a lot. We look at numbers and all these different metrics. But like, is that me?
I don't know. I just felt like you were talking like metrics and like senses.
What am I gonna
Also,
do?
it made me think of Spidey senses, and I think this is Doctor, like the lizard from Spider-Man, or I don't know.
That's yeah. Doc,
I thought you were saying it's going to be Lazard. I thought that was going to be your take to
Yeah,
have an
Lazard.
increase.
Oh no, that'd be a good one though.
What's like using your that sixth sense that you've acquired and developed all those years of fantasy football? Like, do you feel like
Yeah,
what's going to be like the change in tide or like the big momentum shift as far as like players go? Like, are we?
Are you saying away from what's happening now, or
yes,
in
like,
line with what's happening now?
Like in like week 10, 11, like what's going to emerge? What's going to happen? Like, what team right now are we not? Is Jameis Winston and the Saints? Are the Jameis Winston and the Saints going to get right and be that? Because right now Jameis Winston looks sloppy as hell. But like, are they going to get right? Is that system going to become like? Are they going to get it down? Are those guys all good? Olave,
Good question.
where's
I think
Olave
the rookies are all
gonna
good. I think the rookies are going to. I think we see some good rookies this year. I think we've seen an overall trend in the NFL that rookies come in and are able to contribute second half of their first season way more often than they did pre-Mike Evans era. So I think our Olaves, our Drake Londons, our Garrett Wilsons, maybe our Treylon Burks, these guys who are expected to be talented, who have shown talent at the college level and are expected to have opportunity on their NFL teams, have done good work. I think all of those names are probably continuing. I think that they're, and they're not the same at the rookies, but different position. Breece Hall, another game with over 10 targets. He's looking all right. I think he's going to keep getting better. Ken Walker, we mentioned him a little bit there. I think there's some chances for the rookie plays. Damian Pierce is looking good so far as well. So I think you're going to see some rookies that are going to come up. Overall, like some bigger teams, I don't think it's going to be the Saints. I think Jameis is a sloppy person, and I think it's going to keep being like a sloppy game.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think the Cardinals are going to come around either.
Is Jelani Woods going to be? Did we just see a Jelani Woods breakout game, man?
No, I don't think so.
3 catches, 2 of
No,
them touchdowns.
Yeah,
we did like
20% share.
It's
like how
funny
tall
to
he
be. Well, yeah, it's funny to be like, look at how big that guy is when you have Mo Alley Cox on your team.
Right.
Like Jelani Woods is bigger than Mo Alley Cox. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yes,
Crazy, dude.
I kind of think that we're going to see – I think we've seen a lot – like, I know it's week 3. Ronald's probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but I think some of the things that we're seeing, I think, have value to them. I look at the Dolphins, and you said they're pass happy. I don't see that changing. Now, it could change as the weather changes. They get other, battles. But that I don't have a lot of trust in their running back room, and I have a lot more trust in their wide receivers to stay pass happy. We look at that situation. I look at some of these teams like obviously the Bills. The Chiefs are one that's interesting to me. They started off pretty strong.
Almost
Did we get it?
Almost got an interception there. It was just a fun game of hot potato.
The Chiefs are an interesting one, actually, as I think about it a little bit, talk through it here, because nobody's really emerging. They struggled with Indy. They probably should have lost to the Chargers. And you're looking at a team that, started really hot against Arizona in week 1. So, where are they going to be at? Nobody really wanting to win in the AFC West right now. Chargers, Broncos, all looking kind of sloppy and weird. And we thought that division was going to pop off. Are we going to get a late half push from that division and games? Because the Chargers are real banged up right now.
Yeah.
But some of these surprise teams, Philly, I wasn't as surprised because I was kind of in on it, but Philly, Jacksonville, Miami, these are fun teams that are doing some really interesting, awesome things and are talented on both sides of the ball.
We have a whole team that yet hasn't even been unlocked yet. We have the Steelers, right? Just waiting for Kenny Pickett.
Oh, that's a good one.
We saw that George Pickens, just that preview, right? In the NFL. Are you kidding me? We have Freiermuth over there just sitting, waiting to get unlocked. We have a whole offense in the Steelers that Mitch Trubisky just does not complement at all, right? That's another team that's going to be huge. When Kenny Pickett comes on the scene, and he's not I think he's an improvement over Mitch, but people who aren't familiar with him, who didn't pay attention to the offseason like a lot of us did, they're going to see Kenny Pickett come on, and they're going to be like, oh, okay, who's this rando guy, this rookie? He's going to be trash. He's just a random rookie in there because Trubisky sucks. But then you're going to say, okay, I'm going to go acquire Pickens now. I'm going to go acquire Freiermuth now while they haven't done anything. And a lot of people who aren't familiar with Pickett aren't going to see it coming. And that's going to be I think that's going to be another thing. And Jaylen Warren, in that sense, how great did I want to talk about Jaylen Warren, man. No one talked about how good Jaylen Warren looked.
I love it.
Man, he looked fantastic. I like Jaylen Warren, but I don't remember him even looking that quick in the preseason games. I remember him bouncing off tackles, pads forward, breaking tackles, a tough runner, just almost as tough as Najee Harris, man. Najee's huge. And Jalen's half the size of Najee, but Jalen was running with some burst, man. And he's going to be, if Pickett comes through and Najee goes, ooh, nasty sack for Jones. Yeah, man.
I think Jaylen Warren has already earned himself a position of, if the Steelers don't give him opportunity, he will find a team that will be giving him opportunity. He looks that exciting, and there's going to be a team out there that's going to want to see what he could do in a more prominent role.
Yeah,
I think I'm with you there on that.
I like this take about Pittsburgh. Could something change with them? The Giants team we're watching tonight, could they get, I feel like they're kind of an imposter 2-0. We'll see how this game plays out. But I'm wondering how more they get accustomed to Dable's offense. They've been doing a lot of hiding Daniel Jones, and for good reason. We'll see how that kind of goes forward.
Yeah.
But I liked what you were saying there too. I'm interested to see if Arizona can right the ship, because the Rams, although they beat them and they handled their business, and even the Niners, they're vulnerable. Both those teams are a little bit vulnerable. The line for the Niners, the running back room for the Niners, a little bit vulnerable, and the line for the Rams too. So there could be some things going on in the NFC West, a little bit more competitive, and not the way you thought, like an ugly competitive. This year.
I think for me, the two offenses that I'm actually pretty excited for rest of season are bad teams that might lose a lot of games, but I'm looking for the Jaguars offense and the Lions offense. Yeah, they look exciting to me. I don't think they might make the playoffs.
Jaguars could win that division.
Maybe they could, but their offense.
Doug Peterson looks like he's coaching all right.
But their offense looks good. So I'm excited for both those offenses rest of season. And then I'm not too excited for the Chiefs if it's not Mahomes or Kelsey rest of season.
Right.
I don't think I'd be confident in Juju every week. I don't think I'd be confident in Valdez-Scantling every week. I got Sky Moore in a lot of places, and I'm probably going to drop him this week. I think those are my three takes, I think. And one last one is I want the Broncos to do bad because I want a top 5 pick from them for the Seattle Seahawks. But Russell is known for sucking in one half of the season and doing great in the other half of the season in fantasy football. It's either the first half doing great or the second half doing great, and it's always flips for him. So if he continues sucking for the next 8 weeks, look for him to carry you to the playoffs in fantasy football.
These church guys know how to suffer. I'll tell you what, man. It's baked into the philosophy of it in some ways, and I think that he will sit in this, and I think
blessed are the downtrodden.
Yeah, and I think he is going to sink in, and I think Russell Wilson is smart, and I think they've got the weapons, and I think they're going to pull some things together. But let's help Ronald here pull a trade together. Got a question. Would you trade Gabe Davis and Knox if you could get Alive and Goddard? Man, I would trade anything to feel alive. No, Olave and Goddard for Gabe Davis and Knox.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is a good deal. Based on what we've seen. Yeah.
If that's in your inbox right now, you should absolutely accept that right now.
I think Goddard might be the best player of that trade, honestly. I mean, it's hard to find a consistent tight end, and you want every part of that offense right now.
Yeah, the hellscape that tight end is. Goddard's a great option to pivot to.
You know, you asked, I like your question here on rest of season predictions, kind of from what we've seen, and I'm calling into some questions how good the coaching unit in Los Angeles for the Chargers is. Brandon Staley, like I was really high on Brandon Staley. I like from what I had seen, but I don't like the judgment that I've seen him demonstrate so far. I mean, it's early, but you know, the only thing you've really got going for you, I don't think he's handling Justin Herbert well in the way that this went down. They just got their asses whooped so bad, and he kept his quarterback in a dangerous position. I just didn't get it, and it doesn't seem like he's totally got his thumb on it, and enough time has gone by. I'm a little bit concerned. Eckler is your main dude. It's always just been a little bit strange. I'm not sure. What do you I don't know.
I agree. They should have at least sat him for week 3 at the least, and honestly just sent him home with meds and just be like, go home. You know, just go watch some Netflix. Don't even come to the stadium today. We don't need you here today. Go. You know, and also, you know, it was also, you know, that was a bad decision, and also the Chargers defense needs to be better. They are a better defense than what they showed against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, you cannot give up that many points at home to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, that either their defense is worse than we thought, or Lawrence is way ahead of schedule than we originally anticipated. And you know, that's as far as like not in-game coaching, but like as far as like just overall organizational coaching, that was a very bad decision by Staley. You know, and it seems like we're in a lack of actual good coaches. And you know, Don, I know we were talking about harping on Pete Carroll, but I think actually Pete Carroll is still one of the better coaches in the league. You know, he is one of the
looking all right now, right? Like they look prepared okay for the game they're coming into.
Yeah, they're being competitive.
Yeah, and you know, and as much as we like the young, sexy, like the guy that came from the, you know, offense and he was the offensive coordinator, like, you know, O'Connell came from the Rams, and right now it's not really looking too sharp with the Vikings. They looked really good in week 1, but it's kind of been up and down. You know, they got blown out against the Eagles. They had a really difficult time navigating the Lions defense. Like, you know, it's really tough. It's really tough to find good coaches these days, man. I mean,
yeah,
it's really, that's why I don't think they're going to just let go of Pete Carroll, because Pete Carroll, you know, he knows how to run a good offense. He's giving Geno Smith relative success in Seattle. Like,
I doubt we fire him. We'll never fire him. If he leaves, it'll be because of retirement.
Tony Pollard.
That was a run too.
Wasn't gusher, it? Yeah, it was a run.
Just ripped
yeah.
him down.
Like you were saying though, you see all these high flying head coaches coming in and people being so excited about them, and rarely do they hit. So if you have one of those top tier head coaches on your team, you should be happy for as long as you can be with that coach.
Absolutely, yeah. And what's going to be sad is, you know, as speaking of another head coach, I like Robert Saleh a lot in New York, but I think he's going to be the fall guy for drafting Zach Wilson. And
that's the problem, is I don't think he likes Zach Wilson. You know, they were talking about the divide, is between him and the GM. And what the problem was is the Jets had a killer draft this last year. Like, this last draft they had was awesome, and Elijah Moore was good, but Zach Wilson just was not it. And what do? You know, I think taking a page out of the Cardinals book, you know, see what happens this year. I think they set the Jets up nicely, though, Z. They said, look, we can get a view at Zach, And if it doesn't work, we know we can drop a quarterback into this. Because look at what Joe Flacco is doing with this offense, putting up points at least, And I think you get a really good quarterback in there, man, that thing could take off.
Put Ryan Tannehill in there. Like, get Ryan Tannehill, put him in there. Like, you're not
Jimmy G. That's why I thought Jimmy G would have been a nice just contingency value, and then you could switch to Jimmy G if you needed to. Right. It was rumored there for a bit, but didn't happen.
That offense has enough pieces to where you don't need to have this quarterback be the centerpiece of the offense.
No.
The quarterback just has to be functional when you have so many great offensive weapons in that offense.
Please, Zach Wilson, be functional for my Garrett Wilson shares.
God, please, man. Please.
Oh.
All right. What do we get? What was that?
We get a flag?
Going
no.
Off his back foot.
He's looking for Noah Brown, but didn't even throw it close to him.
And then I think, we just saw what happened with the Henderson-Akers split. We saw Akers just run away with it, in a nice game script for himself. But, Akers looking like he's the guy there and could be, one of the better RB2s down the stretch. So there's also that.
Yeah. Akers is showing up probably on our buy low or just a buy episode this week because the splits are there. It's working around. I wish you wouldn't have fumbled at the end of that game.
Right.
That's one that's like that. And you still saw Henderson in on long down and distance and some of the receiving. But I think they're pushing Akers. I think McVay is coaching Akers up to say, hey, you can be the guy. Like, I've had Gurley. I can make this work for you. Right. You just have to. I mean, obviously, Akers isn't Gurley. But, you can be very, plentiful in this offense. So I'm with you on the Akers buy. He's a guy I'd be looking at.
The Rams, I think
you would.
They seem like I feel like the Rams are like a little bit more horizontal pass team than they were last year. And I think it's because of the offensive line woes.
It's necessity, yeah.
Yeah, the run game is going to become, like you said, a necessity. It's going to become more of a focus, and they're going to rely less on Stafford's arm. They still are averaging, I think, through 3 weeks. In 2021, they averaged 35 pass attempts per game. And I think through 3 weeks, they're averaging 34 pass attempts per game. But I don't know how far those pass attempts are going right now.
Right, and we're seeing a lot of, Skoranek out of the fullback position, leaking out some weird stuff.
J.J. Watt.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Andre coming in here. Would you trade A.J. Dillon and Sutton for Devontae and Cam Akers?
Yeah, I'm a Dillon guy, but I mean, I'm still a big believer in Devontae, and his overall target volume should be correct itself as the season progresses. I mean, he should getting out targeted by Mac Hollins 2 weeks in a row is got to be an anomaly. I mean, you got to side with just talent and overall history over here, and yeah, I think that's fair. I mean,
yeah, I think
Dillon and Akers are kind of like the same. Essentially, so it's a lateral move, but Devontae is going to be the upgrade over Sutton. So I think overall it's going to be the Devontae Akers side.
Yeah, I think I'm in on that as well. I mean, I love Dillon, and like you said, you're a Dillon guy, but I think Akers is a nice buy right now because of the usage that's increased over the last 2 weeks. And Devontae, the only problem is that we've seen these teams now kind of focus on Devontae. Got to get Renfro back. Good thing it was a concussion. Yeah. Only, I mean, not saying it's good that it was a concussion, but
clip it.
Clip it out. Put it on social media. But I think Devontae, as you said, the target share is very safe there.
Yeah.
Do you have something, Austin?
Well, it's just more of kind of like a philosophical, anecdotal point. It's not like an evidence-driven one or anything like that. But we talked about Derek Carr, and a lot of people were gassing up on the Derek Carr for MVP train. And I kind of got this theory about people, like in general, and it's like people are down to do a certain amount that they're able to do, and like almost nobody goes 100%. It's like people are committed. Like I'm a 90% person, or an 80% person, or a 70% person, and this person, no really matter what task is in front of them, whether it's like a homework assignment or a game of football or just like cleaning up your room. You're going to hit that percentage. Like you're 85% on generally everything you do. I think you think about your friend circles. Like this guy's really dedicated. He always does a good job. Or this guy's kind of a fuck around no matter what he does. He kind of, doesn't get the job all the way done. And so like within those ranges, I think people live. And I don't think there's a ton of fluctuation based on the variables. Like you're going to do all you need to do to get 90% of the way. And then if you have even more pieces in front of you to make getting 90% easier, you're going to kind of slack off. and you're going to enjoy that. And I think that's what Derek Carr, that was my prediction for Derek Carr. I was like, I don't think Derek Carr is that dude. I don't think he is like a guy who could push it for 45, 50 touchdowns or 5,000 passing yards or something like that. I think he's this like, kind of middle of the road, kind of get it done, not going to be your problem, not going to be your hero. And having more weapons around him, I get the temptation to say this is going to elevate him. I think it's just going to allow him to do what he's always done with less effort.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, he's going to lean on that crush that he has on Devontae Adams. He's like, okay, now I can just kind of scale it back like 10%, 20%, and just kind of hope Devontae Adams can get me there, right? Yeah, basically based on the intangibles that we can't see. That's a tricky part about player evaluation. Like, you can take all the measurables you want, but if you don't process, if you don't evaluate those, if you misinterpret those intangibles, like that Austin was alluding to, then an organization is in trouble and the pieces around him are in trouble.
And on the other side with it, like a James Robinson, for instance, we watched this guy come in, work his ass off, earn the starting role his rookie year. And then what do they do next year? They go out and draft Travis Etienne in the first round. And we're all like, oh, James Robinson's done. He was just an opportunity monster. And all of the metrics pointed to him to actually being good. But they were like, oh, it's not going to happen. And then Travis Etienne is there and he's still an RB1 before he gets hurt. And it's like, okay, so now he's shown an ability to like lean in despite doubt, despite like better stock, despite all these things. He comes in and he freaking throws it down. And then he gets the Achilles tear, right? Yeah. And we're like, there's no way this dude is going to come back and bounce back and be anything. Travis and I talk about this all the time. We're like,
never.
James Robinson is kind of that dude who's like,
I'm on Rod St. Brown, dude.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Some people are just like, and like James Robinson to me is a 99% dude. That, like he's whatever it takes to do 99% of it, he's going to do. And here he's doing it.
You can't teach effort. You can't teach hustle. These things that are just come intrinsically, the intangibles that Z and Austin both said.
What up, Canary?
I think some of these guys are just, model breakers. We love putting the math to it. And then it's like some of these guys are just like, oh, all offseason, ETN. James Robinson's like, F that, dude. I'm coming back early.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it, man.
I was on the side, I'm not going to even lie, I was on the side of being very pessimistic about all these players coming back from Achilles injuries, just because I had to side with history. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know about the medical advancements. I don't even know if there are medical advancements, and we have two outliers in Akers and Robinson right now. I just don't. And Shepard tore his Achilles last year. We're watching right now. So I don't know what's going on, but I think it's time to start, changing the narrative with Achilles injuries. And I love Robinson as a player. And if I knew he was healthy going into the season, I would have been all in on Robinson over Etienne, and that goes for most of those players with the Achilles injuries. But yeah, it's that ethic, Austin, that you were talking about, that it's part of I think it's part of the healing process. It's not only about like rest time and medication, but it's also like that mindset that allows give those players that that healing that allows them to heal properly. But
there's something that's just weird. Like, and I love getting philosophical with you, Z. We had such a good time with it on the mock draft marathon. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, if you ever find yourself in a challenge, you're working towards a goal, you're doing something, and you all of a sudden approach a challenge that's like really, really hard for you. And sometimes your body like fills you with the energy you need. It fills you with the focus that you need. You start to see the things that you would need to do those next steps. And it's almost like life prepares you for the challenges in front of you. But when you're just sitting back, chilling, not even thinking about that challenge, if you was to tell you like, there's no way I could do that. It's like, well, yeah, because you're not like in it. You're not feeling how you need to rise above.
I think it doesn't matter like what kind of person you are. I think everybody at least once has reached that point in their life of pure exhaustion. And then you reach that place where a lot of people talk about, they call it the zone, where everything kind of just slows down a little bit, and you go through it and you come out of it the other side, right? And you start to process things differently out the other side, and you learn that lesson about coming through the shit and the muck and whatever, even if it lasts even if you're golfing in the driving range, right? And you just start shaking them all of a sudden out of nowhere, and you're just frustrated, but you just keep hitting balls, and your fingers are swelled up, and you're blistered, and you can't open your fingers and straighten them out. But you start just taking your time, and you're sweating. It's a hot day, and you start taking your time. You start looking at your club, at the club face, how it's rotating in the back and coming down at the ground, and then you just kind of hit through it and you start making better contact with the balls and you learn something and something clicked because you worked through it, and you're just not gonna, you can't grow, you just can't grow if you don't go through that discomfort. So like, this is something I learned in my 20s is I just learned that if something is uncomfortable, then you should jump into it, because that's where growth is. Yep. So whenever you find that thing that's uncomfortable, that's where growth is. A lot when I was starting out in fantasy football, like when you guys asked me to be on your podcast, I was scared shitless. Like I've never been on podcasts. I don't consider myself a very, I'm not a very good at communicating to people, but it was uncomfortable for me. And I said, I just need to go and do it if I want to grow as a person and become, better at the task of communicating with people in the fantasy football industry. So
yeah, there's a phrase
There's so many great shows to do now.
100%, yes. There's a phrase I like to live by. It's called imperfect action. And it's basically you just keep going. And the idea is that action of going will keep you accountable to continuing to go. So like, like you're talking about there, like, yeah, I'm not hitting these balls correctly 10 in a row now, but I know that if I keep hitting them, like I will eventually, and if I work on what I'm doing, and I'll be accountable to the action. And I think that's just such a big part of what we do. I mean, it's what we do in fantasy. To bring it back here, we could go 0-3, and yet we're still at the waiver wire, and we're still working the trade lines, and we're still trying to manufacture and work through the darkness that is our roster, maybe to try and get to the next thing that's going there. So
I think that's also too why when you hit those breakthrough moments, when you think you're going to break down and you keep pushing, and that breakdown turns into a breakthrough, it means more. The choices you could have made, and what you ultimately decided, and then you see yourself on this other position. And like, I just got to give a shout out to you, Travis. In our league of record, man, you got a reputation for making a lot of trades, doing a lot of wild things. And, it hasn't always worked out for you, but it's also netted you a few championships in a league where it's really hard to get a championship. And you've had that courage to do the scary thing, but to do something different. And to bring back our boy Sigmund Bloom, who says, use the emotional investment you have to players to your advantage. Just be honest. And what he means by that is if you're really high on a guy, you go and pick up a lot of shares of him. You start watching the first few weeks into the season, and that player that you were so high on is not doing what you expected him to do. Don't be stubborn and say, well, he's going to turn it around. Say, damn, I was so in on this, and it's not working out the way I saw it, and I was so close. You're probably ahead of the curve than some other people. So use that. Go ahead and try to make a trade. Try to make a move. And, don't be afraid to do that. Even if you fuck up, this game keeps going. You play the next years. And so, Travis, like your evolution on making trades, and then, I've seen you make some, you're like, okay, I didn't factor in regression enough. Like he didn't hit for so many weeks, and you trade CMC for a big haul, but, you're doing it because you don't think the touchdowns are ever coming, and then they end up coming. And you're like, damn, okay, you learn that. And so then the next year you don't make those same kinds of moves, and you factor it in, and that's how we get great.
That's it.
I don't know how else you do it.
That's it. 100%. This line needs to get a little bit better at blocking here.
They not either.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to keep trying. They're going to keep trying. The false start here is backing them up after a holding. I think brought back the Pollard run out to the outside that looked really nice.
Hendershot, the tight end.
Pollard here getting a lot of work, and they're backed up inside their own.
They got a pass to him, man.
Yeah, it's just only week 3 right now, man. We have so much time to go, man. It's just Last night, like also like you were saying, like we in Trav, you guys were saying like we go back to it no matter where we're at in the record. Like I mean, like yesterday, I really didn't want to play fantasy football anymore after the week I had. I was just like, I'm tired of this.
Man.
I want to give every team I have away. I didn't want to look at these apps anymore. And I woke up like this morning and I was like, all right, what's next on the schedule?
Oh my God, dude.
I was into it. Like, let's go.
That is hitting me. I should pull I don't have the goosebumps, but Austin would be, he'd be like, I have the goosebumps right now. I don't have them, but that hits me in such a way you have no idea. And I think it hits all of us in a lot of ways where you're like, hey, I wake up, you go to bed on Sunday. Last week I went 6 of 8 in leagues, but lost in my league of record. And my girlfriend gets back from a trip. She comes out of town. She goes, what's wrong? I'm like, well, I went 6 of 8. I had all my guys I told people to start in my article went off, but I lost in my league of record. And that really sucks. So I'm pissed off. And obviously I got to, check that. But No,
Steve.
Noah Brown.
Seedy.
No,
Noah Brown
Seedy, I
with the
think.
drop. No, that was
I think it
Noah
was-
Brown.
What was it?
That's Seedy.
That's
Is it?
Seedy.
Is it 88?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shocking.
Dude.
Yeah,
dude.
To top it off, what you guys were saying, this is my first year diving into fantasy football. I've played it my whole life,
Right.
but I'm diving in with you guys now since the mock draft marathon, and it's my first year working for Pro Football Focus, and I've just been my weekends and weeks have just been nonstop football. So I feel like same thing on Sunday. Like I had a long work weekend, and my fantasy teams weren't doing the greatest, and I felt that too. But I was like, all right, well, who do I need to play Sunday night? You know, it's the same thing as it's a beautiful grind. It's a passion, and I love it.
You know, I love it, and I'm glad you brought that one up there. Go ahead, Z.
Oh, I was gonna ask Dung, what are you doing at PFF right now?
I'm a data specialist. I'm
Are
collecting.
you working? Are you charting? Are you charting right now, or what are you?
I don't know how much detail I can go in because I signed an NDA, but I'm collecting base data.
Okay, so I worked at PFF as a charter.
Okay,
where
I'm
I
a
was
base data.
Yeah, base data
Yeah.
analyst. Same thing I did. Okay, great.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I know what your Saturdays are like then.
Oh yeah, 15
So
hours
you're
on
on the
Saturdays,
West Coast.
10 hours on Sundays.
You're on Western
West
time,
Coast.
right?
Yeah,
You're on Western time. So you're working late games then, aren't you?
I've been working 4 games on Saturday and 2 games on Sundays. So
You're in Madman. So you're probably really good with data entry. You're probably just knocking them out.
I'm trying to. Yeah,
Okay.
I got it. My first game was 6.5 hours. I'm down to about 4.5 hours per game.
They love you. They love this guy at PFF. I'll tell you something. I know the guy.
Love to hear that.
They love him. They like you. You're gonna be doing. Yeah. We can't say it. Yeah, but like you're gonna be. Yeah, they're gonna play. They're gonna say, "Come back." Hey, you keep that up, and you're gonna have a full-time position there in no time.
That's the hope. That's the hope and the dream.
Yeah.
Right there.
Keep that up. I know. Hey, it seems like a long way away. I should have stuck with it. I got caught up in other things, but like,
Yeah.
you know, if you stop now and then you look back like 2 years from now, you're like, I should have just kept doing it because I could have been full-time at PFF now. Just knock it out. The season will be over before you know it, and then those full-time positions will open up. You'll get in there. Keep doing it, man. That's amazing work you're doing. That many games in one weekend. I did one game and I would sleep. I did one game on Saturdays and I was
so tired
till like 1
today.
o'clock the next day, and I would be like,
Yeah.
because I feel like taking 5-hour energies trying to finish like. I'm like, oh no, there's nothing worse when a game goes to overtime in college because
No, dude, you gotta.
Was that
Yeah,
the
what
Pollard
happened?
also?
Well, you just have all these players. Yeah, this screen pass that they set up to Pollard, they throw it to his feet. The slip.
Dude, I think
slipping
we
through
got
our
on these
fingers.
slips, man. We got to go with Dave Kluge's advice on these. Lean on the shit Thursday outcome.
The island games.
The island games, and you know.
Wait, what
of course,
did Kluge say? What did he say?
Well,
It's the-
just on the Thursday, we went a lot of the unders and like the shitty play, the interceptions, the unders, lean into the.
Are your picks just for like one half or the entire game?
No, they're the whole game. We got time.
Yeah.
We just,
taking a look at it.
We want
Let's
him
take a
now.
Oh,
Is that
And then there's
CD
another
drop
CD.
again?
CD could have 2
Yeah.
more receptions this drive.
Dang.
Is CD
They're
that
not
guy?
listening to our. They're not listening to our stream.
Is CD that guy?
I don't know.
Is he that dude or not?
Oh, I love
Like,
CD. I've been a CD
I really
man.
like CD. I don't like the last 2
freshman
balls
year
I've
at
seen through his
OU.
way. Like,
CD
CD
is
should
my
have already
favorite.
had a huge game.
Yeah. Yeah, he should have.
He's not.
Imagine,
Yeah, he should have a touchdown right now. He straight dropped that one,
all
man.
the CD owners that watched that ball go through his hands on that bomb. I'm so glad I'm not that guy
Yeah.
tonight.
The ones
Yeah.
that have him on on your bench though, because a lot of people have been benching him the last 2 weeks are happy.
Oh, they are probably, huh?
Yeah, they're like,
there are
oh,
a
thank
lot of
God.
options they can replace them. There are a lot of options they can replace with them now.
Yep.
No, I mean, I really like CD as one of those options. The comp for me is Antonio Brown. Like that comes up for me, just like
nice.
so shifty, can beat
like
you
it.
on speed, but he's not known as like he's not a Deshaun Jackson or a Tyreek type. He's so fluid. You know, it's like
He is.
almost like a DeAndre Hopkins type,
Cool.
but great catch, great movement, great route running, great.
I just love
elite
his
catchability.
his yak
Yeah,
potential. Every play is incredible.
Yeah.
He had a play against Texas, I think maybe his junior year at OU. Like he caught a ball. He was running into what looked like a wall of Texas defenders. You guys have probably seen this highlight. It literally like 8 Texas players are around him. Somehow he goes through it all and gets a touchdown. It was incredible.
I wasn't watching college football too much when he was in college. I just started getting college football last year.
Who's your team? You got a team, or are you just into college football?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have a team.
Yeah.
I am watching now more because I'm in Devy leagues though. So I've been for example, like I took Hendon Hooker in like the 5th round of a Devy draft this year.
What's a Devy draft? What's a Devy league?
So a Devy league basically means you're drafting college players right now, but those college players don't have any effect on your fantasy team until they get drafted in the league.
Oh my God! It's a freaking dynasty league that goes.
I like that, man. I want in on one of those.
But there's also campus to Canton leagues where you can draft, where you can have an NFL team and a college team. So you have basically one fantasy team made of both players that are active and contributing to your team at once. So you have your Saturday squad and then you have your Sunday squad.
Oh my God, dude!
You guys have heard of campus to Canton, right?
No,
I don't think I've heard of that. No.
C2C leagues with Felix. They're interesting. Those guys, you know, like Devi Yusuf on Twitter and
some of these guys,
those gnarly college heads, like those guys, like they have all their spreadsheets and their measurables going.
Throw it to Saquon, dude.
He's blocking.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's blocking for him like a bitch.
Travis, would you, if you got to see all that we've seen up until this moment right now, would you have traded Saquon Barkley after week 1?
No, probably not.
That's a tough question.
I just think that he's one of the few backs like that is just guaranteed usage, guaranteed all the usage, and that stuff we just talked about regression and trade CMC away before it hits. That stuff just tends to hit if they stay healthy. It just it comes back around and they have monster games like he had in week 1.
Like,
well, you have to.
Go ahead.
I mean, it always depends on what you're getting back.
Yeah.
You know, like
look at his hands.
You're going to get it, but I think especially in some of these leagues with how RB is right now, like right now, we had a decent week last week, but coming into week 2, we just had touchdown dependent RBs. Like if they scored, they were going to be in the top 20, top 15. You know, we're seeing the league evolve a little bit, and then we'll just kind of see how it all plays out. Obviously, guys like Chubb, we got guys like I think Saquon, CMC getting that massive usage.
I like Saquon too. I don't think you move on Saquon. CMC, I'm a different take on, because I don't think that CMC brings all of the elements Saquon brings to the table. He's not as big. He's not as sturdy. That was the thing about Saquon, man. It's like he's gonna be the fastest, shiftiest dude out there, but his truck stick is mean at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, like
sure.
he's a big dude. He's over 230 pounds.
Somebody's got to call Baker and tell him to throw to CMC at least double the amount of times that he's been throwing to him.
Dude, the amount of things you would tell Baker to do if you had his ear.
God, man.
It's a long conversation.
If you're a Jonathan Taylor owner right now, and I mean, I think they're kind of like freaking out a little bit too, which they shouldn't be, because I think 2 weeks from now, where the whole narrative is gonna be flipped on Jonathan Taylor. They just got to get their offense going a little bit. They got to make some
get a little bit healthier. Second.
Yeah. I think this week's victory was huge in creating momentum for that team and trying to establish some kind of offensive pass catchers. So they just got to get that going and get some focus off of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think it was huge after the week 2 blowout loss to come back and beat the Chiefs. I think it's going to be big for their playmakers.
Yeah. A lot of people were knocked out of their pools because of that game, probably.
Yeah.
But just to speak to what we were talking about with where running back is right now, Khalil Herbert with his game, and yes, he rushed for 157 yards. He's a top 5 back in both formats right now after that 1 week. Baby. So that's what we're talking about with that's why I think Saquon's a hold and CMC's a hold, and I'm not selling these guys.
Jonathan Taylor. Dude, how weird is it that Jonathan Taylor? How weird is it that Jonathan Taylor comes out with a total of 91 yards in a game where he had 21 rush attempts, 5 targets, and they won against the Chiefs? That's just a bummer. He's better than that.
He should have more than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Saquon's
I think these are things are gonna even out. It's the other situations, Herbert's an interesting pickup this week. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because even if Montgomery is going to come back, now Well, they're saying that they're just saying he's more of a day-to-day now.
Yeah.
But it is an ankle sprain, and we know how those linger and how they are. But this is his coaching.
I had no idea. Sorry to pause. I had no idea. And in my dynasty league, I picked up David Montgomery in the offseason, and I just like mentally went to a funeral yesterday. I was like, his NFL career is done. I've got depth. I'm going to be okay. We just move on to the next thing. Like we said, my hands are blistered, but I'm going to keep hitting balls. We just keep going. That's it. And I was like, he's done. Now you're telling me he's day to day? Okay. We'll let Breece Hall fill in the spot for a little bit. It'll be all right.
Yeah, Montgomery's an interesting one, though. That's why I was kind of bringing this up. It's not that I don't think – look, Montgomery, I think after week 2 was leading the league in broken tackles. Like, he's a good, fine running back. But Herbert, every time he's been given an opportunity, has people questioning if he's better than Montgomery because he looks good with the ball. So then we have a Rashid. I mean, he was a better graded rusher last year, obviously limited sample size, but by PFF, so by your colleagues there. But for me, it's like this regime knows nothing to David Montgomery. They could watch Herbert for the next 2 weeks if Montgomery sits and go. And Z just talked about the Colts winning and what that does for the team. The Bears escaped with a victory in a game where they gave the ball to Herbert a ton, in a game where Fields made mistakes. So, those are the kind of things the Bears are going to be thinking about when they're trying to get wins and they're trying to eke out wins in their lowly, depth. So,
Herbert's going to be the new Tony Pollard.
Herbert's an interesting guy, yeah, but without the Jerry Jones and huge contract to Dave Montgomery.
I know we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. I mean,
not as much allegiance to the guy ahead of him.
That's
so I think that's
what, right. Like the Chicago Bears, they can't keep doing this 10 pass attempts all year round.
8 completions week 3.
Gee, who are their weapons?
Well,
they can't throw it because they don't have players, dude.
Like Justin Fields, Justin Fields, and he obviously has his flaws. He holds on to the ball for a lifetime. He doesn't ever let it go. I mean,
it's hard when receivers don't get open, man.
Well, yeah, and they just run.
Yeah, I know.
Is he running? What's his yard line for running right now?
I don't know what he's at.
He's got 28 yards week 1, 20 yards week 2, 47 yards yesterday.
Dub Maddox is probably I think I like learning about his quarterback system, right? And he has 3 reads, right? You have your read, you have your rhythm, and you have your rush. Those are all different routes, right? And they're all based on different times, right? And your rush is your final read. That's your hot read. This should all be done within 3 seconds. If it's not there, don't think about it too much. Get out of the pocket, right? And he's just not doing that. He's not. His timing is so prolonged. Justin Fields, he needs to speed up his process. If his receivers aren't getting open, just run, just move the ball down the field. But I don't know, man. I don't think this is sustainable. I don't know, man. I guess the
Bears are just showing up as what some people thought could happen as one of the worst teams in the league as far as offense, and they're bare. They did a lot of trading and a lot of picks were gone by the time this new regime got there. So it just doesn't. I mean, their offensive line is atrocious.
Is it, Justin Fields or Baker Mayfield rest of the season?
I'm definitely taking Fields still. Yeah, Baker Mayfield, I think
both rough.
Looks so bad.
Yeah,
I don't think Baker Mayfield has the support of the people in his life, which makes it hard to be successful.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
I heard Odell Beckham sent DJ Moore a text when Baker Mayfield was over there, and he said, "Good luck." And DJ Moore, I'm not sure if DJ Moore interpreted it correctly, but. Yeah, I think Odell was spot on with Baker Mayfield and his.
What's funny is DJ Moore has constantly been almost QB proof, and Baker is and CMC as well. CMC has been, I mean, we're 3 weeks in, but still, these are guys that would ball with shitty quarterbacks. I wonder
Robbie Anderson said it. Didn't Robbie Anderson say I want to get
no?
How much? Yeah. I thought that's what was going on in the game.
Robbie Anderson was I want to get out of here in the preseason.
This is going to sound really ugly and dumb, but how long does Darnold have on that injury? How long? Right? How long till we can get Darnold back in this lineup?
So bleak. It's so bleak, man. It's just.
So,
I can't. I will never watch a Panthers game this year. I don't think I can. I just maybe to laugh at.
I love their jerseys too. It's sad.
Yeah.
I just don't know. That's one team I can't watch. But hey, I can watch Jacoby Brissett. I will watch Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, the Browns actually surprisingly moving the ball on offense.
Stefanski called such a good game. They went empty set so much, and Jacoby was out there slinging it to Njoku, man.
There we go. Some yardage.
Oh.
Galladay.
Hey.
More than 3%.
Diggs down.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
Another flag.
Flag.
Every play.
Come on, dude. Don't take any of this yardage away, please.
They're going to call like illegal contact.
That might be unnecessary roughness defensive with that tackle.
Yeah, they're calling.
I don't know the way they're yelling though. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Dable doesn't like it. So
offensive pass interference.
Oh shit, Dable is pissed. Yeah,
offensive pass interference.
Galladay. Oh, Shepard.
Come on, Sterling.
See if they can score anything here to close out this first half. Whisper Nation, let us know how your fantasy matchups are rounding out. We are going to be logging off here at the first half ending as well this week. So before we go here, let us know how your lineups are working and what you need to see. Oh, man. Dude, if the Giants win this game, they're going to be 3-0.
Yes.
Best 3-0 team out there.
If whoever wins this game is above 5. Well, dude, the Cowboys could win this game, and
the
both
Giants
of them
should
would
not
be
have the
above
same
500.
record as the Eagles.
Yeah.
Right. But
They
they will.
play
They
week
win.
4. That'd be nice.
It's not right.
How unlucky are the Eagles in that respect, where they're like, we're just dialing it in now, but then our division mate is 3-0. Like, what the hell? The Giants?
And there's so much parity in the NFL. It's the hardest league to win in. The game of football allows for more volatility and fluctuations to what should happen. Like it's a fluky game. You know, there's not a lot of offensive series that can go down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Giants really stick it tough to the Eagles the times they play and just have some nonsense go down.
It's like such a Giants move. At least the Giants I've watched growing up. You know, like don't be really great at anything, but be good at kind of everything. You know, a bunch of different things, and then stick around and upset people.
And like second half of everything. Like Eli Manning was good second half of the game, second half of the season, second half of like the Super Bowl. It was just always just let him get to the end. We're talking about what kind of person you are. He's I get it done at the end kind of guy.
I miss the days when Mario Manningham was like the best wide receiver you could find on the waiver wire, and now there's just like it's just like chock full of wide receivers on the waiver wire still. Like it's just like those are the good old days when Mario Manningham and like you know those guys in like Ted Ginn Jr.
Oh, there's a reception and yardage.
So that's part of the process of sticking with Saquon Barkley because the offensive philosophy dictates, like Dable's offensive philosophy in Buffalo dictates that Saquon's going to be a big part of the passing game. You just got to stick it. You just got to stick it through with that.
Right.
He's I like what you said there, and it's true because no matter the situation, no matter the game flow, barring injury, Saquon should be in there. He should be in for garbage time action. He should be in on the 2-minute drill. He should be the running back when they're up by 30 points. Like,
it's so different for a lot of teams. Like, for example, the Seahawks go to their 3rd/4th running back Homer in the same situation.
Right. Yeah. So guys like that, you want to keep on your team, and Saquon is probably the top of the list there.
Yeah.
See if they can get some points on the board here at the end. Going for it looks like on 4th and 2.
10 seconds left.
They have any? Oh, they got a field goal there. I couldn't see that. All right, cool. So we'll see what they do here. 10 seconds and a timeout. 2 timeouts. 3 timeouts.
We could see 2.
Oh, they have 3. Didn't they just call one?
Yeah, they had 1 left.
Oh.
Now we're going to see a Hail
another
Mary
superb throw by our
Cowboys?
guy, Daniel Jones.
Superb.
What did the Giants do with Jones, man?
Let him go.
Do they pull like a Jimmy G with him? Like keep him, pick up somebody, keep them both on the roster, say that we love him, but you know they are trying to move on, but still keep him in case your guy destroys his leg?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's anywhere near Jimmy G. He doesn't make good enough decisions to be And Jimmy G gives up picks too. So, I think Jones is
different play style.
Yeah, Jones. But I'm just saying, like decision making. That's been a big knock on Jones.
Yeah.
Wait, how do the Giants have how do the Cowboys have the ball right now?
It was 4th and 2.
Oh, they turned it over on down.
Yeah. Jones.
I mean, they didn't pick up the option for a reason, and I think they'll probably. I mean, I don't know though. If they end up winning this division, who knows what happens? They're not going
their
to.
backup right now?
Who's
number 2 right there? Do we know?
Where?
The Cowboys
at
or
the Giants' backup quarterback?
Yeah,
Tyrod
Taylor.
Oh, there you go. Tyrod season. I'd pick him up in fantasy.
I mean, I prefer Tyrod over Daniel Jones. I honestly don't even know why Daniel Jones is still starting. Probably because
they keep giving him chances, and he keeps doing nothing.
In 2016, Tyrod Taylor had 580 rush yards and 6 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, I've always liked Tyrod.
He's mobile.
He's just he's steady and he got bad luck.
No.
He looked really good when he was starting for the Texans last year, and he got his hamstring injury. Then Chargers with Herbert, he got some Dr. Chow jabbed his lung with a freaking needle.
Nurse Ratchet, bro.
Yeah,
stabbed him.
What's up, Tony J?
What up, Tony J?
Twitch.
12672.
Let's throw to Simi Fahoku on a down where we really need to catch.
Appreciate HVXB saying I'm gonna start joining more, and then Ronald with the backup. You should. Good people here. A lot less negative than the other options out there. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you, Ron.
Bad vibes out there on the other streams, huh?
Yeah, I guess it's hard in these streets, huh? These YouTube
I started
streets.
that rumor back in.
Dude, are they? Oh, of course. This is the biggest. What is this? This 59-yarder.
59.
Of course, my guy, Mike McCarthy, dude. You might as well change his middle name to Field Goal McCarthy, dude. Mike Field Goal McCarthy.
Field Goal Mike.
I like that middle name.
Field Goal Mike's going for it again.
Oh, did he get it?
No.
No, it's Field Goal
Of
Mike.
course he didn't. Yeah. Field
What
Goal Mike. We got one question, I think, before we take off here. I want to get Tony J. Would you guys trade Michael Thomas and Gabe Davis for Debo? Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
I would go do this deal.
Yeah.
Yes. Go get it
myself
done.
a main vein.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go before Chris Olave just saps all the value from Michael Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Z-Man, it's such a joy to have you on the show. It always is. I feel like a better person and excited to take on the world after spending time with you. You let them know they're at ZKantzFF. That's the best place to follow you. Is that true?
Yeah, that's the only place to follow me.
There we go.
Perfect.
So yeah, if you guys are wondering about, like I was saying in the beginning of the show, like I like to do player cut-ups a lot. So if you guys were wondering how a certain player looked on your fantasy teams, and you just want to see for yourself, and you don't want to look at the box score or listen to some random talking head on a bigger network who doesn't really know anything about fantasy, there are plenty of them, and you want to make an assessment for yourself, let me know and I'll make a cut-up for you. So yeah, let me know.
I think that's a Heart Whisper Nation. He's a great one at it. Nemo coming in. Yo, great to have you. Last question. We got Tony J sticking another one in here. How about Dalvin for AJ Brown and Herbert?
Dalvin Cook for AJ Brown and Justin.
I think it might be Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, it's gonna be Khalil Herbert.
Oh man, this is tough. Dalvin dinged up.
Depends if you need a receiver.
Yeah, I don't think I'd do it unless you really, really needed a receiver and you had solid backup running back.
I'd hang on to Dalvin. I know it's a little tough right now, but I'd probably hang on to Dalvin on this side of it. Herbert could be a rental. I mean, we're talking about how good he looks, but definitely Montgomery could be back this week, and then he's in his time split on a shitty offense, and so not like you're really replacing Dalvin's production there just for AJ Brown. And Devonta Smith showing like he's a man out there, so it might not just be the AJ Brown show every week,
Might not be what we saw week one.
Yeah.
Nope.
You see that happen all the time where what happens at the beginning, it shapes our perspective, and it takes a long time to kind of have that perspective that was initially landed adjust to the rest of the variables. So I think that's probably good. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Travis. Okay, Travi, Donnie, Z, any closing thoughts?
No, I think stick in there. Week
Yeah.
3,
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
got a lot of balls left.
Just keep grinding that waiver wire. It's important also to kind of stick to how your gut feels about certain decisions. Don't just go based off of charts that you Google online.
Right.
Stick to what you know, and your experience got you here this far, and it's going to take you even further. So that as well.
And when you lean on what you actually think and actually believe, then you get to see how it works out and become smarter. Because like if you're wrong,
Definitely.
that's fine. It was your call, and then you were wrong, and now you gain new insights.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And if you haven't already, follow the Fantasy Whispers on Twitter, because we're putting out threads weekly, waiver threads and start sit threads. And if we can't get to your questions via the stream, go check the Twitter page and get your answers there.
We'll see you, Whisper Nation, on tomorrow, Tuesday, for the waiver wire show. We'll see you Thursday for the watch party, and then Sunday morning lineup questions answered 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. That's an hour and a half before kickoff. On
Are we going earlier? Have we decided for the London game?
Oh, is that one?
Oh, we'll stay tuned for that. We'll have to. Yeah, we might be doing that.
Stay tuned
Check it
for
out.
some London game updates
London
coming.
action.
Those are always fun. On behalf of Big Travie, Z, Don Flegg, Johnny Game Time Hicks, shout out there. We are the Fantasy Whisperers. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the